Chapter 229. Duja Stage Human, what the hell do you want to do in front of me? A Duja Stage Human is challenging the authority of a Dashang Stage Divine Beast. Are you courting death? The Ink Chilan stares at Chinyu in the distance with his cold eyes, his voice resounding through heaven and earth. This Ink Chilan is not a ferocious beast. Ferocious beasts have blood-red eyes, but this Ink Chilan's eyes are not blood-red. Moreover, this Ink Chilan is a demon, and even a loose demon. Ink Chilan, a divine beast that has undergone 3 tribulations of being a loose demon. You can just admit defeat in front of me. You're no match for me. Chinyu says smilingly. The Ink Chilan is a 3rd tribulation loose demon. But just now this Ink Chilan claimed to be a Dashang stage divine beast. He is indeed a Dashang stage divine beast, but he is a 3rd tribulation loose demon instead of a Dashang stage one. This shows that he is very proud of himself. A loose demon. You're courting death. The Ink Chilan gets angry. With a movement of his body, he arrives in front of Chinyu in a blur. Facing all this, Chinyu's reaction is, the Lord of Black Flames ring, heavenly fire domain. Ah! A painful roar comes from the Ink Chilan's mouth. At the same time, he retreats rapidly, his eyes full of astonishment. Heavenly fire? You can even use heavenly fire to attack? Even a 4th tribulation loose demon cannot withstand more than a few blows, let alone a 3rd tribulation loose demon like the Ink Chilan. He is more powerful than a 4th tribulation loose demon, but he will not be able to hold on for long. Seeing that Chinyu can use heavenly fire to attack, the Ink Chilan wisely chooses to run away. Running away. Divine beast Ink Chilan shouldn't be good at running away. Unfortunately, I'm best at speed. Chinyu uses the human weapon unification while stepping on a middle-grade immortal weapon. Chinyu's body is extremely tough, even surpassing that of a top-grade holy weapon. His body will not be an obstacle when he flies. Moreover, with the help of a middle-grade immortal weapon flying sword, Chinyu's speed is simply astonishing. The Ink Chilan has just run away for a while when Chinyu arrives in front of him. Don't run. You can't escape, Chinyu said with a faint smile. When the Black Kiran saw the mysterious man in black in front of him, his heart skipped a beat. Speed was not his forte, but in terms of speed the Black Kiran was not weak. Even a master at the Dashang stage might not be able to catch up with him. You're only at the tribulation passing stage. How can you catch up to me? Also, how can you use heavenly fire? Even ordinary celestial immortals don't have the ability to use skyfire. The Ink Chilan stopped running and asked Chinyu. Secret. Chinyu smiled. Then he turned into a black light and rushed toward the Black Chilan. Hands, feet, elbows, knees. In a split second, Chinyu was like a humanoid mythological beast. Chinyu displayed an extremely fast close-range attack. The Black Chilan was very excited at first. Competing with a divine beast in terms of physical strength, it suspected that the person in front of it was stupid. But when the fight began, the Black Chilan found it hard to believe. A divine beast's physical body was strong, but it was not strong enough to reach the Dashang stage without relying on internal energy. After all, to a divine beast, the body was only a part of its strength. Yuanying energy was the most important. Chinyu's physical body alone was able to fight against a divine beast. The sound of punches hitting flesh was very real. It was like hitting a sandbag. The Black Chilan's scales began to shatter and blood began to flow. You're a human. No, you're a divine beast. What is your true form? 5-clawed golden dragon? Or the legendary golden-eyed stone ape? The Black Chilan said angrily through its spiritual sense. The golden-eyed stone ape was a divine beast on the same level as the 5-clawed golden dragon. Its body was as hard as diamond and very powerful. No, I'm a human. Chinyu's body turned into a whirlwind. His right leg was like a divine whip from beyond the heavens. It lashed out viciously at the Black Chilan's abdomen, sending it flying. Roar! The Black Chilan roared towards the sky. The surrounding water became completely chaotic. Streams of water formed flying swords that shot towards Qin Yu. Just by looking at the splendor of those flying swords, Qin Yu did not doubt their power. The Black Qilin was born to control water. Within the Qilin clan, it was considered one of the stronger ones. Of course, the king of the Qilin clan was the legendary Fire Qilin that was born from flames. The Black Qilin was born from generation to generation, unlike the Fire Qilin that was born from flames. But the Black Qilin's ability to control water was still very strong. This Black Qilin seemed to know that these flying swords could not do anything to Qin Yu. Its whole body emitted rays of black light. The black light engulfed the seawater within a range of several hundred meters. The seawater began to fly up, forming a huge water ball over a kilometer in diameter. The water ball rapidly shrank. In just a moment, it became a fist-sized water ball. Human, just now, you actually did not stop me from using this unique skill. Yes, you have the Skyfire, but the power of my life-saving, inky black heavy water is not as simple as you think. Prepare to die. The Black Qilin shouted coldly. Indeed, just as the Black Qilin said, Qin Yu did not stop the Black Qilin from using this skill. With Qin Yu's speed, he had the chance to stop it, but he did not. Because Qin Yu wanted to tame the Black Qilin as his spiritual beast, not kill it. He had to let the Black Qilin understand his power. Only then could he make this proud divine beast submit. I will not use the heavenly flame to block it. Rest assured, even if I don't use the heavenly flame, I will still be able to easily defeat you. Moreover, this special move of yours is simply unable to affect me, said Qin Yu with a light smile. Then you are courting death. Hearing that Qin Yu did not use the Skyfire to stop it, the Black Qilin emitted rays of black light from all directions and then wrapped around the small water ball. Like a ray of black light, it shot towards Qin Yu at high speed. But Qin Yu just reached out with his right hand. Qin Yu's right hand very easily caught the black water ball that was flying at high speed. The Black Qilin's face was filled with madness. He could almost see the black water ball blasting away Qin Yu's right hand, severely injuring or even killing Qin Yu. It's quite powerful. Qin Yu's voice rang out. The Black Qilin's face changed. Qin Yu was very careful. This attack really is powerful. Even my current body is unable to withstand it. Its power is roughly on par with Zhou Xian's blue ripple attack. Qin Yu could clearly sense that his right hand was being ripped apart, but Qin Yu, who had mastered elemental life force, would not allow his right hand to be destroyed. When Qin Yu had blocked Zhou Xian's attack, the elemental life force in his body had automatically repaired his hand. But now, Qin Yu was consciously controlling the large amounts of elemental life force in his body to repair his hand. Qin Yu held the black water ball in his hand, constantly using up the energy of the water ball. Even if his hand was injured, it would instantly repair itself. Controlling a large amount of elemental life force to repair his hand was much faster than using elemental life force to repair itself. How is this possible? The Black Qilin was stupefied. This was because Qin Yu had simply used a single hand to destroy his supreme attack. Even without using Skyfire, I can easily defeat you. As soon as Qin Yu finished speaking, he charged towards the Black Qilin. At this moment, the Black Qilin's heart was beginning to feel fear and worry. He knew very well that even he himself wouldn't be able to withstand that attack without being injured. The Black Qilin let out a furious roar, and all of the Qilin's horns stabbed towards the charging Qin Yu. But at this moment, the Black Qilin's body suddenly sank. The Lord of Black Flames ring. Gravitational field. The sudden pressure caused the Black Qilin to reveal a fatal flaw at this critical moment. Quelch. Qin Yu's short sword pierced through the Black Qilin's scales. A moment later, Qin Yu came out of the Black Qilin's body with one hand holding the Qilin's Yuanying. The Black Qilin's Yuanying face was filled with shock. What level is your flying sword? Pierced through my scales so easily. How is this possible? Middle-grade immortal weapon, Qin Yu said, looking at the Black Qilin in his hand. You can use Skyfire, your body is so tough that you can easily kill me, and you're faster than me. And you have an immortal weapon that can easily pierce through my scales. Why do you torture me like this? The Black Qilin was furious. He could also see that the mysterious black-clothed youth before him was too powerful. If the black-clothed youth wanted to kill him, the black-clothed youth could have burned him to ashes with a heavenly flame or directly killed him with the immortal sword. Why did he take so long to kill him? Nothing. I just want you to be my spiritual beast. Qin Yu took out a spiritual beast collar. Obviously, the Black Qilin had heard of spiritual beast collars. As soon as he saw it, he said proudly, "You want me to be your spiritual beast? You're strong, but I don't want to be ordered and controlled by you. I'd rather die than live a life without freedom." Qin Yu let out a long sigh of relief. Generally, divine beasts are proud and don't want to be other people's spiritual beast. He had just conquered this Black Qilin with his strength. Actually, the Black Qilin was relieved when he said that. If the Black Qilin was really unwilling, he would have a different attitude. Don't worry. You're a third tribulation loose demon. You can be my spiritual beast first. After I ascend, you only need to take care of my family. Nobody will restrain you, and I won't order you to do anything. Qin Yu said with a smile. Knowing Qin Yu's power, the Black Qilin immediately said with a nod, "Okay, I believe you." The Black Qilin has already discovered Qin Yu's power. Since a human can be so strong, he also believes that Qin Yu will definitely be able to overcome the 9 from 9th heaven tribulation. When he ascends, Qin Yu will naturally separate from him. Qin Yu infuses the spiritual beast collar with the power of the stars. Immediately, he puts the collar on the Yuanying. Immediately, the collar starts to shrink and directly fuses with the Yuanying's body. The spiritual beast collar is related to the soul. Once it is fused with, the Black Qilin will not be able to betray him no matter how powerful he is later. Bastard, you'd better not let me know who the F***ck you are. Otherwise, I'll definitely let you die a horrible death. A handsome young man curses angrily. There is still blood on his body. This young man is called Lian Chong, a 7th tribulation loose demon. His father and mother are even more terrifying. His father is an 11th tribulation loose demon and his mother is even more formidable, a 12th tribulation loose demon. Normally, given his status, very few people even in the chaotic astral ocean dare to provoke him. This time, Lian Chong is going to undergo the 8th tribulation of a loose demon. His parents are extremely strict with him. Their demands can even be regarded as cruel. Chonger, if you always rely on your parents to practice the devil path, you'll only succeed in your dreams. Everything, you have to rely on yourself. This is what Lian Chong's parents often say. The devil path of the devil path is cruel to the enemy as well as to oneself. Given Lian Chong's power, of course he has full confidence in overcoming the 8th tribulation of a loose demon. He has also prepared quite a few treasures for overcoming the tribulation. Even though his parents say so and are usually very strict, they still give their precious son a protective magic treasure. A middle-grade flying sword is a demonic weapon. Normally, even 10th tribulation loose immortals and loose demons and even 11th tribulation loose immortals don't have a middle-grade demonic weapon, but Lian Chong has one. It was given to him by his mother. Originally, he was very confident in finding a place to undergo the tribulation. However, a few days before the tribulation, he was unexpectedly sneak-attacked by a loose demon. The most important thing is, this loose demon is too powerful. He is at least a 9th tribulation loose demon or even more powerful. This loose demon's face is always indistinct, so it is basically impossible to see through him. Perhaps he wants to sneak attack Lian Chong, so he has prepared everything so that Lian Chong cannot see through him. Lian Chong is a 7th tribulation loose demon, but he has many treasures and some life-saving treasures given to him by his parents. Obviously, his parents have also thought about the possibility of their son being hunted down. But this time the enemy is too strong. He has been running for 2 or 3 days. Lien Chong simply doesn't care where he is going. He only knows that he is running for his life. Even though he can teleport, the enemy has obviously left some kind of mark on him so that no matter where he teleports to, the enemy can still catch up with him. In addition, the distance of teleportation is directly proportional to one's power, so Lien Chong simply has no time to go back. After teleporting only twice, Lien Chong no longer dares to teleport because once he teleports, he will have a momentary pause. The enemy may take advantage of this to catch him. After teleporting twice, Lien Chong begins to flee desperately, using all kinds of escape techniques. In a panic, he has no choice but to use the blood-fleeing art, a technique unique to Xiaoma experts, while his primordial spirit attaches itself to the flying sword, a middle-grade evil weapon. In the end he has fled to this place, but he has finally shaken off the enemy. Father, mother, I'm being hunted down. At the moment, Lien Chong is contacting his parents. You're asking me where I am? I don't know. I'm surrounded by boundless water and no special islands, so how can I know where I am? Father, mother, you should have sensed my aura, right? Lien Chong says helplessly. What? You can't sense me. No way. Did I run too far away? Lien Chong is a bit stupefied. First he ran desperately for 2 or 3 days, then he used the blood-fleeing art to flee desperately. In the end, he himself does not know how far he has run and where he has run to. Father, mother, my loose devil tribulation is coming very soon. After fleeing for so long and using the blood-fleeing art, I only have 20% of my power left at most. Many treasures have been used up and I only have 1 flying sword left. Lien Chong is in a panic. If he faces the divine tribulation in his present state, he will definitely die. Boom! Thunder suddenly bursts in the sky. In an instant, the sky changes color and becomes dark red like a furnace. Father, mother, the divine tribulation is coming. Lien Chong is already speechless. I'm anxious. You're anxious and I'm anxious too. What's the point? Who knows where this damn place is? It's over. I've searched millions of li of water with my devil sense, but I haven't even seen a single island that I know. Lien Chong is so anxious that he is about to go crazy. Not only him, his parents are also about to go crazy at the moment. But what can they do? Obviously their son has fled too far away at the moment. His parents simply cannot use their devil sense to find him. Moreover, they cannot find their son's location according to the map, because there are simply no islands that they know in the surroundings. Chong-er, who is that person who hunted you? I'll avenge you by killing him even if I have to die. Lien Chong's mother, a 12th tribulation loose devil, is about to go crazy. Father, mother, get ready to avenge me. That bastard has hunted me for more than 2 days. I think he's at least a 10th tribulation loose devil. Father, mother, don't say any more. I don't have any hope of resisting the divine tribulation of a loose devil. At the moment, Lien Chong is about to lose all hope. At least a 10th tribulation loose devil. But don't worry, Chong. I'll kill every 10th tribulation loose devil, 11th tribulation loose devil, and the only 12th tribulation loose devil who has any grudges with me. I practice the devil path of Azura, which starts with killing, but I haven't killed anyone for a long time. At the moment, Lien Chong's mother is completely crazy. Chong-er, big uncle, it's you. Lien Chong is pleasantly surprised. If it is his big uncle, perhaps he can still be saved. Chong-er, it's no use. When the divine tribulation comes, you can only rely on yourself. Even if other people go to help you, the divine tribulation will attack both of you at the same time and its power will increase. No matter what, you have to go through the tribulation of a loose devil. In your current state, only the tribulation holy pill of the master of the Lianyun Island can restore your power in an instant. If you can't restore your power, it'll be useless even if we find you. Big uncle, the tribulation holy pill. Can you go and borrow the tribulation holy pill? If you want to borrow it, you'll definitely be able to. Lien Chong does not want to die, so he sends a message urgently. At the moment, the tribulation cloud has formed in the sky. The first sky thunder is about to strike. The tribulation holy pill is an absolute treasure. If it were something else, it'd be easy for me to borrow it. But this tribulation holy pill. It's really hard to say whether the master of the Lianyun Island will be willing to lend it to me or not. Moreover, I can't find where you are. Get the tribulation holy pill and find him. Both conditions are indispensable. Without the tribulation holy pill, it will be useless to find him. Even though the tribulation holy pill is hard to borrow, there is still a bit of hope. But how can they find him? Moreover, the divine tribulation is about to come. There is simply no time to do so. Big uncle, father, mother, get ready to avenge me. After sending the last message, Lien Chong puts away the transmitter and begins to go all out to go through the tribulation. Chong-er. At the moment, tears are streaming down from the eyes of Lien Chong's parents. But at the same time, monstrous killing intent rises in their hearts. Lien Chong's big uncle's eyes are full of coldness. With only 20% of his power left and a middle-grade immortal sword, how long can Lien Chong resist? 5 sky thunders. My power has almost been used up. There are still 4 sky thunders that are even more powerful. At the moment, Lien Chong is barely standing on the water. He has already given up all hope. Relying on only 20% of his power and the immortal sword, he has barely withstood 5 sky thunders. How can he resist the last 4? A few days ago, Lien Chong did not care about this 8th tribulation of an individual devil at all. Indeed, if his power was still there, he would not have cared about it. But now he is dead. He is going to die. Before dying, Lien Chong recalls his glorious years in the past few years. He has his parents behind him. Even though his parents are strict with him, they cannot change the fact that he has 2 formidable parents. Because of this, he has been living very freely these past few years. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, few people have dared to be arrogant towards him. If I die, everything will be in vain. Lien Chong gives a bitter smile. Only when he is about to die does he realize how wonderful his days were when he was alive. Brother, I see that your power has been used up, but this divine tribulation is not over yet. I have a holy pill here. Take it and you'll be able to recover your power. A voice like the sound of nature rises in Lien Chong's ears. Lien Chong raises his head to take a look. In front of him is a black-clad young man. It is none other than Qin Yu. You have a tribulation holy pill. Lien Chong knows that the only thing that can restore his power in an instant is the tribulation holy pill. Tribulation holy pill. No, this is an eternal good fortune pill. It also has the effect of restoring power. Qin Yu says smilingly. At the same time, he throws a holy pill emitting green light to Lien Chong. Eternal good fortune pill. Never heard of it. Lien Chong says while shaking his head. Soon after he curses in a low voice. F***ck, I'm going to die. I don't care what it is. Let's fight. Seeing that the 6th sky thunder is about to fall, Lien Chong swallows the holy pill at once, not caring at all whether it is poisonous or not. Lien Chong also knows that at this time, who will use poison to kill him? As soon as he swallows this eternal good fortune pill, he is delighted in his heart. There is hope. He only feels that the eternal good fortune pill turns into streams of clear energy and fuses with his yuanying. Streams of green energy spread throughout his body. His yuanying recovers extremely fast as if it has taken a tonic. His originally dry and exhausted yuanying suddenly becomes full of energy. In just a while, his yuanying has unexpectedly recovered completely. It's true. I'm safe. Lien Chong is wild with joy. When one is in despair, hope suddenly arrives. Even Lien Chong is wild with joy. Immediately afterwards, he looks at Qin Yu excitedly and says solemnly like never before. Brother, I'm Lien Chong, the son of the 2nd and 3rd masters of the Devil Peng Island, the #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. I, Lien Chong, will definitely repay you for saving my life. Qin Yu is slightly startled. He did not expect that the person he casually saved would be a big shot from the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. Eternal good fortune pill. It's just an ordinary holy pill that has been fused with elemental life force. At the moment, Lien Chong's power has completely recovered. Holding a middle-grade immortal sword in his hand, he does not care about the 6th sky thunder at all. The number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean, the Devil Peng Island? A faint smile appears on Qin Yu's face. He looks at Lien Chong, who is not far from him, going through the loose devil tribulation. Chapter 230. The sky is dark and the earth is dark. Dark clouds cover the sky. Those purple tribulation clouds emit a pressure that makes people's hearts palpitate. It is a pressure unique to the heavens. Snakes of lightning move about. Finally, the 8th thunderbolt strikes down. The power of this thunderbolt is even more terrifying than the one I encountered on the road to the underworld. Even now, I think I won't be able to resist this 8th thunderbolt. Qin Yu watches Lien Chong going through the loose devil tribulation in the distance. The 8th loose devil tribulation is naturally more powerful than the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. However, Lien Chong dauntlessly withstands the power of this thunderbolt with his sword. He does not seem to be struggling at all. After all, Lien Chong is not an ordinary loose devil. He is a loose devil who practices the devil way of Azura and also has a middle-grade devil weapon. Qin Yu looks at Lien Chong and ponders. The Devil Peng Island, the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean? I know nothing about the chaotic astral ocean, but I can rely on this Lien Chong to know some information. Suddenly, Little Emo, you've come back. Qin Yu turns his head and looks at a black figure rushing towards him extremely fast in the distance. This is none other than the Ink Qilin, who has just returned from a hunting trip. Master, a loose devil. He's too powerful. He's definitely surpassed the 6th tribulation. Master, that man is an expert, an extremely powerful expert. The Ink Qilin looks in shock at Lien Chong, who is going through the tribulation in the distance. Master, we'd better leave quickly. If that expert has any evil intentions after going through the heavenly tribulation, we'll be in danger. Seeing the Ink Qilin so flustered, Qin Yu says smilingly, Don't worry, Little Emo. Master, you don't know. Little Emo says hurriedly, Loose devils are very cruel. Besides, didn't you feel the fierce aura he gave off? On the Tenglong continent, there are almost no experts who can practice the devil way of Azura. What Lien Chong practices is precisely the devil way of Azura. Naturally, his baleful aura is very terrifying. As a divine beast, the Ink Qilin has very keen senses, so he can feel a strong threat from Lien Chong. Don't worry, Little Mo. I saved his life. Not long ago. He even told me that he would repay me for saving his life. Qin Yu shakes his head and smiles. Right, Little Emo, let me ask you something. Is the number 1 island in the chaotic astral ocean called the Devil Peng Island or something? The Ink Qilin had been in the chaotic astral ocean for much longer than Qin Yu, so he naturally knew about this. You're asking about Devil Peng Island. The Ink Qilin was clearly very shocked. Master, could it be that you've offended Devil Peng Island? No, I didn't. Tell me in detail about this Devil Peng Island and the other powers in the chaotic astral ocean. Qin Yu said with a smile. Hearing Qin Yu say that he didn't offend the Devil Peng Island, the Ink Qilin finally lets out a long sigh of relief and explains. Master, there are a lot of loose practitioners in the chaotic astral ocean, and there are also quite a few powers. Among them, the 3 biggest islands are the Devil Peng Island, the Lianyun Island and the Black Wind Island. Experts are as common as clouds in these 3 great islands, and the strongest of the 3 great islands is Devil Peng Island. The 3 great islands. Qin Yu remembered it in his heart. Although there are other forces in the chaotic astral ocean, compared to the 3 big islands, they are simply not on the same level. Among the 3,000 loose practitioners of the Devil Peng Island, the weakest one is at the 6th tribulation. Even divine beasts need to reach the 4th tribulation before they can be considered members of the Devil Peng Island. There is a hint of hope in the Ink Qilin's eyes. Qin Yu was stupefied. 3,000 loose practitioners. The weakest one is at the sixth tribulation. Qin Yu was a bit stupefied. How is that possible? How can there be so many loose practitioners? How is that not possible, Master? There are hundreds of millions of Xiationists on the Tenglong continent alone. Many experts lost their physical bodies and became loose practitioners. Of course there are many loose practitioners. But how can the number of loose practitioners who can reach the sixth tribulation be small? Moreover, I was only talking about the Tenglong continent just now. Master, in this boundless ocean, there are loose demons at the bottom of the ocean. On the islands on the surface of the ocean, there are flying-type loose demons. There are also a large number of Xiationist schools. There are even more people here than on the Tenglong continent. Qin Yu was startled. He originally thought that there were many Xiationists on the Tenglong continent, but now it seems that there are even more in the water. Thinking about it carefully, this makes sense. It should be known that the power of Zuyuoists is comparable to that of Xiaxianists and Xiamoists combined. There are Xiaxianists and Xiamoists not only on the Tenglong continent but also on the islands overseas. There are so many schools on the Tenglong continent and so many schools on the islands overseas. How many are there in total? And the number of Zuyuoists at the bottom of the ocean is about the same as that of Xiaxianists and Xiamoists combined. Master, no matter if they are loose practitioners on the Tenglong continent or in the calm ocean, most of them will enter the chaotic astral ocean once they reach the fourth tribulation level. Almost 80% of the loose practitioners are in the chaotic astral ocean. Moreover, almost all of the loose practitioners above the 10th tribulation are in the chaotic astral ocean. Therefore, it's not strange that there are 3,000 loose practitioners on the Devil Pang Island. Only now does Qin Yu feel what a powerful force is. Master, the higher the power of a practitioner, the more powerful a super expert is, the more invincible he can be. The second master of the Devil Pang Island is a 12th tribulation loose devil. In the past, the number of loose practitioners he killed shocked the whole chaotic astral ocean. He is almost invincible. Qin Yu's heart jolts. The second master of the Devil Pang Island should be Lian Chong's father or mother. Then what about the island master himself? Qin Yu asks at once. There is only worship in the ink Qilant's eyes. The master of the Devil Pang Island is a divine beast. Moreover, he is a top-notch divine beast. His power is truly invincible, absolutely invincible. In the chaotic astral ocean, no one is his match. The ink Qilan has no other adjectives than invincible. But Qin Yu can already imagine how powerful that island master is. If the three big islands of the chaotic astral ocean know about the An'ai realm, that's seen. Qin Yu's heart jolts, but he immediately shakes his head, denying this idea. The An'ai realm is the lair left behind by a level 8 mystic immortal sword immortal. Once this news spreads out, it may make all the big powers in the chaotic astral ocean excited. At that time, not only the Tenglong continent, experts from various regions will probably fight for it with their lives on the line. 3 heaven-sundering diagrams. Qin Yu has a hint of worry in his heart. Before he left the Qin dynasty, he gave his heaven-sundering diagrams to his second brother Qin Zheng. For Qin Yu, who has the Lord of Black Flame's ring, the heaven-sundering diagrams are basically meaningless. After all, the Lord of Black Flame's ring has a complete map, and it also has the qualification to bring 8 people in. When Qin Yu entered Lei Mountain House to train, he gave the heaven-sundering diagrams to Li Er, telling her to hand them over when she is in danger. Now Qin Yu has given them to Qin Zheng. After all, Qin Zheng is the emperor of the Qin dynasty and can't hide in the stellar tower like his father. If someone catches Qin Zheng and threatens him, it's better for him to hand over the heaven-sundering diagrams. He believes that the enemy won't go too far for the sake of the mysterious Uncle Lon. Even though Uncle Lon has left, those loose immortals and loose devils still don't know. The heaven-sundering diagrams. I don't know how many loose practitioners will die for it. Qin Yu sighs in his heart. But right at this moment, a huge explosion comes from where Lian Chong is. The space within several tens of li of him starts to shake. The air forms various ripples that spread out in all directions. At that moment, even the water surface forcibly sinks down several tens of meters. It is as if an invisible big hand is pressing it down. I finally succeeded. Haha. Extremely excited loud laughter comes from the center of the explosion. A beam of light can be seen flying towards Qinyu from the center of the explosion. At the moment, Lian Chong's face is glowing red and his eyes are shining brightly. Lian Chong was so close to death that he even despaired. But at the last moment, Qinyu floats over and gives him the precious eternal rebirth pill. Brother, I'm Lian Chong. You're so loyal that you directly gave me such a precious eternal rebirth pill without asking for any revenge. I can't thank you enough. I'm really sorry. Even now I still don't know the name of my savior. Lian Chong looks very natural and unrestrained. Qinyu says with a nod, Brother Lian Chong, I'm Qinyu. This is my spiritual beast, the Ink Qilin. Spiritual beast. Lian Chong is very astonished. Brother Qinyu, you're making it harder and harder for me to see through you. Not only can you tame a spiritual beast, but you also have the eternal rebirth pill. If I take it, its effect will definitely be as good as the tribulation holy pill. Even the master of the Lianyun Island values this pill. You gave it to me so easily. If I don't repay you, how can I be at ease? Lian Chong frowns in distress. The eternal rebirth pill is too precious. It also saved my life. Of course my life is as precious as the eternal rebirth pill. How can I repay you? Qinyu gives a smile. Brother Lian Chong, you don't have to worry too much about it. When he saw an expert in the beginning, Qinyu didn't think too much about it, so he directly gave him an eternal rebirth pill. In fact, this eternal rebirth pill is the most common pill that has been fused with the elemental life force. For Qinyu it is basically nothing. After all, Qinyu's elemental life force is almost limitless. How can I do that? Lian Chong puts on a stern face. When I was being chased *CK, I lost so many treasures along the way. Countless treasures I collected over the past 10,000 years were all used up. In the end, I even had to use the blood-fleeing art to barely escape to this place. I only had a flying sword left as my weapon and only 20% of my power left. At the moment, Lian Chong's face is full of anger. The most *king thing is that the loose devil tribulation came. God really wants me dead. I sent messages to my father, my mother and my big uncle, but it was no use. There's no island around here, so my father and mother couldn't find me. Even if they did find me, it would be useless. When going through the tribulation, other people basically can't help me. Qinyu is also clear about this point. When going through the tribulation, even if other people help, the heavenly tribulation will only become more powerful and attack the helper as well. The person going through the tribulation simply can't avoid the heavenly thunder's test. Without the tribulation holy pill, my father and mother couldn't save me even if they found me. It's true. That time I was really desperate. For so many years, I ran amok in the chaotic astral ocean. Relying on this demonic flying sword and all kinds of treasures, I could even kill 9th tribulation experts. Very few of those with high power dared to provoke me. Who would have thought I'd end up like this? There is a hint of desolation on Lian Chong's face. It turns out I only just found out that those 10th tribulation and 11th tribulation experts were usually hypocritical to me. On the surface they were very friendly to me, but in secret, Lian Chong thinks of the man who chased after him. He hid his aura, changed his appearance and chased after me. Lian Chong clenches his fists so hard that blue veins pop out. In the end, I escaped from the chase but faced the threat of the heavenly tribulation. After even sending messages to my parents, I was desperate. At that time I thought, how nice it would be if someone could save me. I thought I was dreaming. After going through the 5th heavenly thunder, my power was exhausted and I completely gave up the hope of surviving. Suddenly Lian Chong's eyes brighten. He pats Qinyu's shoulder. But brother Qinyu, you appeared and saved me. I could see your power. Given your realm, you simply couldn't see my power and you couldn't see who I was. But you didn't hesitate at all to save me and gave me such a precious eternal creation pill. Brother Qin Yu, I, Lien Chong, will remember this life-saving grace for the rest of my life. Lien Chong says very solemnly. This time Lien Chong has indeed suffered a big blow. He used up a lot of mental and physical energy to escape. After escaping for so long, he risked his life to escape from the chase. Then he encountered the tribulation of the loose devil. He struggled again and again, but in the end he was still desperate. At the last moment, Qin Yu's appearance really made Lien Chong very grateful. In particular, the eternal creation pill is very precious. Qin Yu can only smile about this. Brother Qin Yu, where is this place? I still don't know where this place is. Tell me where this place is and I'll know the way back. Lien Chong immediately asks. Qin Yu looks at the ink Qilin. Even though Qin Yu knows the way here, he doesn't know the names of some islands. Master, there's an island more than 3 million li south of here called Bailon Island. The ink Qilin knows it very well. Bailon Island. Good God, I've escaped so far away. Lien Chong is shocked himself. He ran away in a panic, risked his life to escape and used the blood escape. Unexpectedly, he reached the area of Bailon Island. Lien Chong is really good at running. Brother Lien Chong, do you have a map of the chaotic astral ocean? Qin Yu guesses and asks. If there is a map of the vast chaotic astral ocean, it will be much better. Lien Chong says with a nod. Of course I do. Some islands in the chaotic astral ocean are marked on this map. You can know the location by looking at the islands. Brother Qin Yu, don't you have one? Qin Yu nods. Without saying anything else, Lien Chong takes out a jade slip and hands it directly to Qin Yu. Brother Qin Yu, this is the map of the chaotic astral ocean. It's also accompanied by introductions of the major islands. You'll know the name of each island as soon as you identify it. Qin Yu receives the jade slip and scans it with his holy sense. This jade slip not only has a map but also detailed pictures of the major islands and detailed introductions. It's really very detailed. Brother Qin Yu, you look like you're not familiar with the chaotic astral ocean. You must have come from outside. Come with me to the Devil Pang Island to have some fun. You saved me this time. I'm at least a native of the chaotic astral ocean. I must treat you well. Lien Chong is very enthusiastic. Master, he's from the Devil Pang Island. The ink Qilin whispers in surprise. Qin Yu nods and says, Brother Lien Chong is the son of the second and third island owners of the Devil Pang Island. You're the legendary Azura Little Heavenly Devil. The ink Qilin is dumbfounded. Azura Little Heavenly Devil. Qin Yu also looks at Lien Chong in surprise. This nickname is really special. Lien Chong slightly blinks his eyes and touches his nose, saying modestly, I'm the legendary Azura Little Heavenly Devil who's invincible in the chaotic astral ocean. Brother Qin Yu, isn't this nickname very cool? Qin Yu is stunned. This brother I just met seems quite interesting. Chapter 231. In the misty and boundless ocean, Lien Chong easily teleports with Qin Yu and the ink Qilin. After all, Lien Chong is an 8th tribulation loose devil, so it is not difficult for him to teleport with 2 people. Father, mother, don't worry. Lien Chong and his parents are communicating for the first time since crossing the tribulation. Now I know clearly where I am and my power has also improved. As an 8th tribulation loose devil with a middle-grade evil weapon, not many experts can kill me. Moreover, I can send messages to you when I'm in danger. Through Lien Chong's persuasion, his parents finally agree not to teleport over immediately. Just now, when Lien Chong had just sent the news of his survival back, the second and third masters of the Devil Pang Island thought their son was dead. Now they know he is alive, so of course they are extremely excited and want to teleport over immediately to take him back. Lien Chong has to say so much to comfort his parents. Indeed, at the moment Lien Chong is not in any danger at all. Even if he is in danger, now he knows where he is so he can tell his parents to come over immediately. Lian Chong, Qin Yu and the Ink Qilin will teleport when they come across an empty ocean and fly over when they come across some special places. Lian Chong will then introduce the place to them in detail. Brother Qin Yu, this island is called the Coiling Snake Island. It's the territory of a 10th tribulation loose demon. This old demon is very abnormal, but he still has to be polite to me. Lian Chong points at an island not far away and says, Brother Lian Chong. A black-clad old man flies over extremely fast from a distance and greets him smilingly. As soon as Lian Chong has arrived at his territory, his demonic spirit has already discovered him. The black-clad old man forces a smile on his face. The youngster in front of him is a little devil of the Devil Peng Island, so he can be provoked by anyone but him. Haha, old snake, come on, let me introduce you. This is my brother Qin Yu. Brother Qin Yu and I are friends who have gone through life and death together. Brother Qin Yu, this is big brother Hei Wu. Lian Chong says solemnly. Oh, brother Qin Yu. The black-clad old man hurriedly greets Lian Chong. There are very few brothers whom Lian Chong calls friends who have gone through life and death together, so it is better to make friends with them. Big brother Black Crow, Qin Yu said immediately. After a round of conversation, Lian Chong lost his patience and immediately said, Old snake, my brother and I have to rush back to Devil Peng Island immediately. See you later. Of course. My Snake Island is always waiting for you too. The elder in black smiled. Immediately, Qin Yu rode the Ink Qilin and headed for the Devil Peng Island with Lian Chong. With Lian Chong's guidance, Qin Yu finally got to know a large number of loose cultivator experts in the chaotic astral ocean. Those experts were very polite to Lian Chong, and Qin Yu's fame gradually spread in the chaotic astral ocean. A brother who has gone through life and death situations with Lian Chong, this is the first impression that Qin Yu gives to those loose practitioners in the chaotic astral ocean. Qin Yu, at least in the chaotic astral ocean, can be regarded as a number one figure. Many other 4th tribulation, 5th tribulation and even 6th tribulation loose practitioners have been in the chaotic astral ocean for a long time, but they are not famous. Fame indirectly represented a person's status. Brother Qin Yu, is this Qing Shui Island powerful? Haha, brother Qin Yu, you definitely haven't seen the big forces in the chaotic astral ocean. In terms of experts, this Qing Shui Island is not even in the top 10 of the chaotic astral ocean. Lian Chong said carelessly. Just now, Qin Yu and the others passed by Qing Shui Island. The island master of Qing Shui Island was in closed-door training, so the vice master received him personally. Qin Yu also witnessed the power of Qing Shui Island. Qing Shui Island is tens of thousands of li long and wide, absolutely as big as a country. However, in the boundless chaotic astral ocean, tens of thousands of li of land can only be regarded as an island. However, there are more than 2,000 loose practitioners on Qing Shui Island, which of course shocked Qin Yu. More than 2,000 loose practitioners, this power is indeed very strong. Qin Yu said while shaking his head. Lian Chong stands in midair and points in all directions. Brother Qin Yu, there are quite a few powers in this chaotic astral ocean. The Qing Shui Island's 2,000 loose practitioners can be considered pretty good, but they accept all kinds of loose practitioners, including 4th tribulation loose practitioners. No matter how good or bad they are. You see, most of the 2,000 of them are 4th tribulation and 5th tribulation, and only 300 to 400 of them have passed the 6th tribulation. Lian Chong didn't care at all. Brother Qin Yu, the minimum requirement for the loose practitioners on the 3 big islands in the chaotic astral ocean is the 6th tribulation. This is called quality rather than quantity. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. Brother Lian Chong, I'm not too familiar with the other 2 of the 3 great islands. Why don't you introduce them to me, especially the 2nd and 3rd islands? In the last period of time, Lian Chong has been boasting about himself, so Qin Yu is quite familiar with the Devil Peng Island. As for the 2nd island, Lianyun Island, and the 3rd island, Heifeng Island, Qin Yu is not very familiar with them. This 2nd island is called Lianyun Island. It also has 3 island masters and about 3,000 loose practitioners. The island master is a 12th tribulation loose immortal. The second island master and the third island master are loose demons and loose demons, both of whom have the power of 11th tribulation. Hey, brother Chinyu, don't underestimate this Lianyun island. Its island master is not an ordinary loose immortal, Lian Chong says mysteriously. In fact, the island masters of the 3 big islands are not ordinary people. For example, my parents are loose devils of the devil path of Azura with the most powerful offensive power. The Lianyun island master focuses on formations and the study of pills. Moreover, he has a formation that allows the 3 island masters, loose immortals, loose demons and loose devils to join forces. Their power is extremely great. Chinyu nods his head. To be able to be called a local tyrant, of course they have their own methods. Although some experts are only at the 11th tribulation, their actual offensive power may even surpass that of the 12th tribulation. As for the Haifeng Island, it's a bit weaker. It has 2 island masters who are 2 divine beasts, very rare divine beasts, fossilized beasts. Brother Chinyu, these 2 divine beasts are both at the 11th tribulation, but their power is even greater than that of 12th tribulation experts. When the 2 brothers join forces, they are even more powerful. They are firmly known as the 3rd biggest power in the chaotic astral ocean. Lian Chong explains carefully. The 3 big islands are all extraordinary. Chinyu praises. Humph, that's nothing. Perhaps the Drifting Cloud Island and the Haifeng Island can barely match my Devil Peng Island. Not to mention others. Even if my big uncle fights alone, no one on the 2 islands can match him. My big uncle has super powerful offensive power, super powerful defense and super fast speed. He's absolutely invincible. Lian Chong starts to boast about his big uncle again. Chinyu gives a faint smile. This is the 18th time Lian Chong has boasted about his big uncle on the journey. Offensive power, defensive power and speed. It's as if his big uncle is simply a perfect existence, and other 12th tribulation experts are simply not on the same level in front of him. That's enough, brother Lian Chong. You've already said it more than 10 times. Chinyu interrupts Lian Chong's boasting, then changes the subject, saying, Right, now we're not far from the Devil Peng Island, right? Chinyu has a map, so of course he knows the distance. He is just changing the subject. Yes, less than 100 million li haha. We'll arrive at the Devil Peng Island very soon. Brother Chinyu, you've always been amazed by the other small islands on the way. When you see the Devil Peng Island, you'll know why it's different from the rest and why it's called the #1 island in the chaotic astral ocean. Lian Chong says confidently. Chinyu looks doubtfully at Lian Chong. Could it be you still have some secret that you haven't told me? Haha, when you arrive at the Devil Peng Island you'll know. Lian Chong pretends to be mysterious. Riding the black Qilin, Chinyu and Lian Chong rush towards the Devil Peng Island effortlessly. If they use teleportation they will arrive very quickly. Only the 2 of them are enjoying the scenery along the way, so they are not in a hurry. In the sky above Mount Qingshu on the Tenglong continent, he is wearing a moon-white robe. His long hair is only slightly tied up with a straw rope. His long hair, which reaches his back, is wantonly fluttering in the breeze among the clouds. Those eyes are like deep pools of water. His lips are red and teeth white like those of a beauty who can topple cities. This is the Qingshu Temple's #1 expert, 12th tribulation loose immortal Reverend Ming Liang. Reverend Ming Liang's lips are very thin and he has a unique temperament. Many female loose immortals worship him very much. It's just that he likes to travel alone. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, Reverend Ming Liang ranks in the top 10. Stepping on an auspicious cloud, he arrives outside the Qingshu Temple's Heavenly Palace's protective Grand Formation. Outside the Grand Formation, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing, Shan Chu and the other loose immortals are all waiting respectfully for him. Senior brother. Reverend Ming Shan immediately bows and says, Brother Ming Liang. Seeing him, Reverend Lan Bing's eyes have a hint of joy. Uncle Master. Shan Chu and the others all bow and say. Reverend Ming Liang's face has a smile like a spring breeze. Reverend Lan Bing has come to help. Ming Liang can't thank you enough. Ming Liang speaks to Reverend Lan Bing first. Reverend Lan Bing immediately says with a smile, "Since the immortal world has sent an order, we naturally have to get into action. Brother Ming Liang, you don't have to do this." Reverend Ming Liang says with a nod, "Junior brother, let's return to Heavenly Palace first. If there's anything, we'll talk about it later." After returning to Heavenly Palace, Reverend Ming Liang sits in the main seat. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing sit in the first seats on the left. Behind them are Shan Chu and the others. Gonsu is also lucky enough to sit in the last seat. Everybody, I already know the general situation. The 3 ink paintings are related to the legendary Ni Yang's realm. Shan Chu, tell me again in detail what you said that day with the Stellar Towers expert. Reverend Ming Liang's expression is somewhat serious. Especially the part where you asked him whether he knew me. Shan Chu is startled. Could it be Uncle Master was angry because the other side looked down on him? That should not be the case. Uncle Master is not that kind of person. Without thinking too much, Shan Chu says carefully, "Uncle Master, that day we were intimidated by that Senior Lan's power, so we brought you out to intimidate him. But later, that Senior Lan said that Uncle Master was a nobody. Of course I was furious. I said that Uncle Master was a 12th tribulation loose immortal. Even the masters of the 3 big islands in the chaotic astral ocean would not dare to look down on him. What right did Senior Lan have to say that Uncle Master was a nobody?" Reverend Ming Liang raises his eyebrows and says, "Go on. Say the next sentence carefully." Shan Chu feels that Reverend Ming Liang values him. He immediately ponders for a while. This loose immortal's memory is indeed formidable. Shan Chu imitates Uncle Lan's tone and says, "Did he say Reverend Ming Liang? I don't know him, but I do know the little golden pong of the 3 big islands." "Uncle Master, it was this sentence," Shan Chu says respectfully. Reverend Ming Liang frowns. Little golden pong. Reverend Ming Liang's pupils, which were originally like deep pools of water, now shine brightly. Suddenly, Reverend Ming Liang's body shakes and his expression changes. Could it be that the little golden pang is? Impossible, could it be? Reverend Ming Liang mutters to himself in a low voice. He does not say it completely clearly. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing on one side both appear somewhat doubtful. Reverend Ming Liang gives a faint smile and resumes his usual expression. He says with an indifferent smile, "All right, I already know about this matter. For the time being, we won't ask for that ink painting of the Stellar Towers Qin Yu. Our current goal is that ink painting of the Inue Palace. Junior brother, how's the investigation going?" Reverend Ming Liang asks. Reverend Ming Shan says with a nod, "Don't worry, senior brother. Everything is under control. That ink painting is most likely in the possession of that Inue Palace's Dame Lian Yu. Now the loose devil experts of the Xioma path still haven't hurried back. We should hurry up." Reverend Ming Liang stands up and says with a long sigh, "Hurry up. Junior brother, Reverend Lan Bing, tonight we'll immediately set off for the Inue Palace. We definitely can't waste any time. If we're a day late and Wu Kongxue returns, that'll be terrible." Reverend Ming Liang immediately says. At the moment it is already evening. When Reverend Ming Liang says we'll set off at night, it is very obvious that we'll set off in a little while. Wu Kongxue. Devil King Wu Kongxue. Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing, Shan Chu and the others all cry out in alarm. This Wu Kongxue's great name still has a very terrifying deterrent force. Yes, this is the news I just received. This time Wu Kongxue will return to the Tenglong continent. In the past, Wu Kongxue fought the second master of the Devil Peng Island to a draw. There's no need to talk about how strong he is. Even if I were to fight him, I'd probably only have a 50% chance of winning. Reverend Ming Liang is also somewhat afraid of this Wu Kongxue. After all, Wu Kongxue's deeds are a bit too shocking. Whether it's slaughtering a large number of Zyashinists to practice devil techniques, or some glorious deeds in the chaotic astral ocean, or even fighting the second master of the Devil Peng Island, Wu Kunshu's deeds are a bit too shocking. That's why I rushed back as fast as I could. According to my estimation, Wu Kongshue shouldn't have rushed back yet. Therefore, we must seize the most advantageous time for us. Even though Shui Yuyang of the Lanyang School and Reverend Qi Yang of the Xiang School have yet to arrive on our side, there are even more loose devils on the Devil Path side who haven't arrived yet. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes shine like the rising sun. This time we must succeed in one fell swoop and seize the inkwash painting from my hands, giving us Xiaxianists an advantage. Reverend Ming Liang's words are very soft, but they contain absolute firmness. Reverend Lan Bing and Reverend Ming Shan exchange a look. Obviously both of them have made preparations. Not long after Reverend Ming Liang returns to the Heavenly Palace, when the sky has just darkened, 3 silhouettes turn into rainbows and fly towards the Inue Palace, the current number 1 Xiamoist sect. Chapter 232. The misty hall of the Inue Palace of the Tenglong continent occupies an extremely large area. In addition to the main hall in the center, there were also dozens of small palaces around it. They were intertwined with each other and contained a mysterious array. Ever since the order of the Devil World's Devil Emperor was passed down, the experts of various Xiamoist sects have gathered in the Inue Palace. Some extremely formidable loose devils have hurried back from the chaotic astral ocean. Because the journey is long, it will take some time for them to get back. At this moment, in Dame Lian Yu's residence, Big Brother Wu Hei, with you helping us, at least this heaven-sundering diagram of mine will be taken away by others. Dame Lian Yu said to a black-clothed man sitting next to her. Wu Hei's face was like a rock sculpture, and the curves of his muscles were almost perfect. He exuded an aura of absolute power. This was Wu Hei, a lone loose devil, a giant of the demonic path. Sister Lian Yu, don't worry about this heaven-sundering diagram. No matter who comes, they won't be able to take it away. All right, in a few days, will the messenger of the devil world be like you said? Wu Hei seemed to be very concerned about this matter. But Dame Lian Yu nods and says, Big Brother Wu Hei, I didn't even tell my sect about this. This in I Yang's realm was of great importance. Not only were there Devil Emperor level experts, even the various great Emperor level experts of the Immortal Realm and the Demon Realm were vainly trying to obtain it. Therefore we can't do it by ourselves. It won't be long before the Demonic Realm emissary passes through the spatial barrier and arrives at the mortal world. Wu Hei's eyes lit up and he nodded slightly. Dame Lian Yu says doubtfully, Big Brother Wu Hei, there's something I don't know whether I should ask or not. Ask away, Wu Hei said heroically. Dame Lian Yu speaks out the doubts in her heart. Big Brother Wu Hei, I've discovered that you seem to attach great importance to the descent of the Devil World's emissary. I wonder what's the reason. Wu Hei smiled. Haha, Lian Yue, I won't answer this question for the time being. Let me ask you, did that Wu Kongshue also agree to help you this time? Wu Hei asked in reply. Yes, how did you know? Dame Lian Yu was astonished. Wu Hei had just arrived at the Misty Hall not long ago, and Dame Lian Yu had not had the time to tell him about this matter. Haha, of course I know. 'Cause Wu Kongshue and I have both come to help you for the same reason. Wu Hei said with a mysterious smile. Dame Lian Yu was astonished. Both Wu Hei and Wu Kongshue are loose devils with the nature of lone rangers. Even though the Devil Realm emissary had ordered Wu Hei and Wu Kongshue not to serve him, they still came. Dame Lian Yu had always been puzzled. Now it seems that it was for the same reason. I can't tell you this secret for the time being, but I can tell you a secret as compensation. Wu Hei said solemnly to Dame Lian Yu. Tell her another secret as compensation. Dame Lian Yu listened attentively. Sister Lian Yu, let me tell you something. Nowadays, the Xiamoists on the Tenglong continent use the most basic Xiamoist techniques. They belong to the basic nature of Xiamoists. There are 3 kinds of real Xiamoist techniques. Wu Hei pretends to be mysterious. Dame Lian Yu was startled. Are the techniques of the current devil cultivators the most basic? Big brother Wu Hei, what do you mean by that? Dame Lian Yu is shocked. Wu Hei says with an indifferent smile, "You're also an 11th tribulation loose devil. When you ascend to the devil world, you'll also know. In the devil world, there were only 3 types of truly powerful devil Dao cultivation methods. One was the Black Devil Path, the other was the Blood Devil Path, and the last was the Azura Devil Path. I practiced the first one, Wu Kongshui practiced the second one. The second and third masters of the Devil Peng Island practiced the third one." Dame Lian Yu is startled. For a while, she is unable to say anything. Turns out, all the Xiamoists on the Tinglong continent practice the most basic Xiamoists. The 3 powerful devil Dao cultivation methods are the other 3. No wonder, no wonder. Dame Lian Yu murmurs. No wonder Big Brother Wu Hei, Wu Kongshui and the second and third masters of the Devil Peng Island are so powerful. They're much more powerful than experts of the same level. Wu Hei, Wu Kongshui and the Devil Peng Island's twin Azura devils are all giants of the Devil Dao. Many people find it strange that other loose devils of the same level are not so powerful. But these several people are so powerful, much more powerful than experts of the same level. Only now do they know that Wu Hei, Wu Kongshui and the others practice the 3 most powerful devil Dao cultivation methods. Wu Kongshui and I both came here because of the devil Dao cultivation methods. I won't say any more. If I do, I won't have any more secrets. Haha. Wu Hei says with a clear laugh. Dame Lian Yu stands up and says smilingly, "Big brother Wu Hei, I'm already very grateful to you for telling me these things. How can I be greedy? Big brother Wu Hei, my Lian Yu hall is pretty big. You live in the west room. Is that okay?" Wu Hei nods. Dame Lian Yu had no choice but to ask Wu Hei to live in her place. After all, the heaven sundering diagram is in this Lian Yu hall. The defense of this place must be at its maximum. These past few days, Dame Lian Yu has been worried that the Xiationists or the Dragon Clan will come to snatch it. Now that Wu Hei has come, Dame Lian Yu can relax a bit. Wu Hei's power is still extremely strong. 3 silhouettes slowly descend from the sky. Their surroundings are blurry. Obviously they have used some kind of invisibility spell. Reverend Lan Bing, junior brother, things are a bit bad. That Wu Hei has come. Reverend Ming Liang slightly frowns and says via his immortal sense at the same time. Reverend Ming Liang is a 12th tribulation loose immortal. With a sweep of his immortal sense, he discovers Wu Hei's appearance. Wu Hei's appearance is a variable. As soon as Reverend Lan Bing and Reverend Ming Shan hear this, their faces change color. It's true that Wu Hei is an 11th tribulation loose devil, but he is not an ordinary 11th tribulation loose devil. Luckily, Reverend Ming Liang also has a special skill. Against Wu Kongshui, I have a 50% chance of winning. Against this Wu Hei, I have absolute confidence. But if he wants to escape, it'll be very hard for me to stop him. Well, junior brother, Reverend Lan Bing, I'll have to trouble you two to pin down this Wu Hei. I'll kill Lian Yu in one stroke. Reverend Ming Liang entrusts them solemnly. I don't ask you to do anything to Wu Hei. I only need you to pin him down, just pin him down so that he won't disturb me. Are you sure? Reverend Ming Liang looks at the two of them, waiting for their answers. Ming Shan says smilingly, Don't worry, senior brother. Even though that Wu Hei is formidable and Reverend Lan Bing and I aren't necessarily a match for him, even if we join hands, we're still sure to pin him down. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing have an extremely good relationship. In the chaotic astral ocean, the two of them often join hands, so they also have their own tricks. Very good. This battle must be finished quickly. That illusionary formation outside the Misty Hall can't be considered formidable. Given the power of the three of us, it won't be hard for us to break into it. But there are some loose devils living in the various small palaces inside the Misty Hall. The weakest among them is an 8th tribulation loose devil. Therefore, if we don't succeed at the beginning, those 8th and 9th tribulation loose devils will surround us and it'll be even harder for us to succeed. Reverend Ming Liang says the main point. The battle must be finished quickly. Once there is a deadlock, this is the headquarters of Xiamoists, so it will be advantageous for the Xioma side. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing nod. All right, let's go. In an instant, 3 beams of light pierce through the illusionary formation outside the Misty Hall, then easily float into the Lianyu Hall like blue smoke. In the Lianyu Hall, Dame Lianyu lives in the East Room and Wu Hei lives in the West Room. Reverend Ming Liang directly rushes into the East Room while Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing, holding immortal swords, stand outside the door of the West Room and do not take the initiative to attack. Dame Lianyu, who is sitting cross-legged on the bed, suddenly opens her eyes. A purple feather fan appears in her hand. A purple brilliance flows from one side of the feather fan to the other. She sees that speck of starlight shooting towards her extremely fast. Ming Liang. Dame Lianyu's face changes color greatly. What she sees is not only that terrifying speck of starlight, but also Reverend Ming Liang's ice-cold gaze. Immediately, boom! The earth quakes and the mountains shake. The Lianyu Hall unexpectedly explodes all of a sudden. This explosion occurs in the East Room, which is precisely the place where Dame Lianyu and Reverend Ming Liang are fighting. From the moment Reverend Ming Liang rushed into the East Room, this explosion occurred in just the blink of an eye. Get lost! A furious roar rises from the West Room. A 5 to 6 m tall giant man with bulging muscles and black chi all over his body soars into the sky. He raises a huge black axe high in his hand. It is precisely Wu Hei after using the Black Devil Path technique. His bravery is unstoppable. Reverend Lan Bing and Reverend Ming Shan simply do not dare to face this Wu Hei head-on. Speak, where is the inkwash painting? Reverend Ming Liang grabs a yuanying and uses his immortal sense to transmit his voice. This yuanying is precisely Dame Lianyu's yuanying. At this moment, her power has been greatly damaged, and her yuanying also appears somewhat dried up. Dame Lianyu's yuanying still has fear in her eyes. For the people of the Devil Realm, is it worth it? If you speak, I definitely won't kill you. If you don't speak, you'll definitely die. If you die, then everything will be for naught. Reverend Ming Liang still has an indifferent appearance, but his immortal sense transmission does not have the slightest bit of emotion. When he captured Dame Lianyu, Reverend Ming Liang already knew that the inkwash painting was definitely not on her because his immortal elemental energy had completely penetrated her yuanying. Even if I die, I won't speak. Dame Lianyu smiles. How could she possibly have the heaven-sundering diagram on her? She believes that even if Reverend Ming Liang kills a large number of experts, he still won't be able to find the heaven-sundering diagram. Dame Lianyu cannot speak. If she does, when the Devil Realm emissary arrives in the mortal world and sees that the heaven-sundering diagram has disappeared, he will definitely vent his anger on the Inue Palace. Moreover, even if she speaks, if she doesn't die now, the Devil Realm emissary will kill her. If she doesn't speak now, she will die. The Devil Realm emissary will instead reward the Inue Palace later. If you don't speak very well. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes, which are as serene as a deep pool, flash with a swift and fierce brilliance. At this moment, the berserk Wu Hei is charging straight at Reverend Ming Liang with an indomitable will. Everything that obstructs him will be destroyed without exception. When Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing encounter such a valiant character, they can't even pin him down. The sea is vast and boundless, but the seawater of the chaotic astral ocean unexpectedly also calmly rises and falls slowly. That dense Lingqi simply makes Qin Yu feel it hard to believe. Brother Qin Yu, that. Lian Chong points to a huge island in the distance in high spirits. Is my home, the Devil Peng Island. The Devil Peng Island is very large, almost as large as the Qianlong continent's 3 big dynasties put together. Of course, most of the Qianlong continent's area is the wilderness. The Devil Peng Island, Master. I've finally arrived at the legendary Devil Peng Island. The black Qilin is obviously very excited. Originally, it was really too far away from the Devil Pang Island. Even with its power, it did not dare to cross such a long distance. Qin Yu takes a deep breath. The Devil Pang Island really deserves to be called. Qin Yu praises. Even though he is standing at a distance, Qin Yu can still clearly feel that huge aura. To Qin Yu, that huge aura is like a peerless ferocious beast to an ordinary mortal. The Devil Pang Island is divided into the outer area, the inner area and the core area. The outer area is for 6th tribulation and 7th tribulation loose devils. The inner area is for 8th tribulation and 9th tribulation experts. The core area is for 10th tribulation and higher. Lian Chong introduces casually. Of course Lian Chong knows the Devil Pang Island very well. The core area is divided into 2 areas. One is my uncle's residence, Golden Wing Palace. The other is my parents' residence, Azura Palace. Brother Qin Yu, my uncle is proud and aloof by nature. He doesn't even think highly of ordinary 11th tribulation or 12th tribulation loose practitioners. It's very hard to say who he likes. So when you arrive at the core area, you'd better not enter the range of Golden Wing Palace without permission. Lian Chong says solemnly. Qin Yu knows Lian Chong means well, so he says with a nod, "Don't worry. I definitely won't go in without permission." Qin Yu, however, becomes curious about the owner of the Devil Pang Island in his heart. He's an invincible being in the legends. Even 12th tribulation experts are far from being his match. What kind of person is he? Qin Yu thinks to himself. Right at this moment, several hundred people fly out extremely fast from the inside of the Devil Pang Island in 2 groups and arrive in front of Qin Yu, Lian Chong and the others. Young master. The 2 black-clad middle-aged men at the head of the 2 groups say smilingly. Both of them are 11th tribulation experts. Where's my father and mother? Lian Chong looks into the distance. He doesn't believe that his parents won't come here extremely fast after he has come back from a life-and-death situation. The 2 black-clad middle-aged men at the head of the 2 groups both smile and look back. The man is handsome and the woman is beautiful. A man and a woman who look like they are in their 20s fly extremely fast from the inside of the Devil Pang Island side by side. Seeing Lian Chong in the distance, their eyes naturally radiate pleasant surprise. Chong-er, father, mother. Lian Chong's eyes unexpectedly turn red. He rushes directly into his parents' arms and hugs them tightly. Chapter 233. This must be my son's savior, little brother Qin Yu. The beautiful woman with a hint of heroic spirit stares at Qin Yu and says with a smile. Qin Yu knows that the woman in front of him is Lian Chong's mother, the 2nd master of the Devil Pang Island and the 12th tribulation loose devil Hu Yi. Before arriving at the Devil Pang Island, Lian Chong introduced his parents in detail. When Qin Yu is about to say something, Lian Chong says, "Mother, this is my good brother Qin Yu. I didn't tell him clearly when I sent him a message. You didn't know at that time, but when I was undergoing the loose devil tribulation, I had to exhaust all of my power to resist the 5 thunderbolts. At that time I was already in despair. At the last moment, brother Qin Yu appeared and gave me an eternal creation pill. Mother, you didn't know this, but that eternal creation pill's effect is astonishing. As soon as I swallowed it, my power was completely restored in a breath's time. The 2nd master is Hu Yi and the 3rd master is Lian Xiao. When the husband and wife communicated with Lian Chong through their transmitters, they only knew that a man called Qin Yu had saved their son. As for the details, they did not mention it in their transmitters. They wanted to wait until they met each other to talk about it in detail. Chong-er. Hearing what Lian Chong said, Hu Yi and Lian Xiao cannot help feeling a burst of lingering fear. Obviously, if Qin Yu had been a bit later, their son would have been gone when the 6th bolt of sky thunder struck. Little brother Qin Yu, you saved my son and spent such a precious pill as the eternal creation pill. My wife and I really can't repay your kindness. Little brother Qin Yu, Please come to my Azura palace to rest first and let Chong accompany you. Tomorrow my wife and I will definitely repay you handsomely. Hui says solemnly, spending an eternal creation pill comparable to a spirit tribulation pill to save her son's life. How great of a kindness is this? The third master, Lien Shao, smiles at his wife. In fact, the reason why the two of them came out this time was to prepare gifts to thank Qinyu, but now they really cannot bring them out. The eternal creation pill can restore all power in one breath. Such a pill is tantamount to a second life when undergoing the tribulation. How precious was this? Just think about how Lianyun Island treated the tribulation spirit pill with the same effects so seriously. Although the gift prepared by the couple was very precious, there was still a gap when compared to the eternal creation pill. With their status, they naturally wouldn't give Qinyu a gift that couldn't compare to the eternal creation pill. Brother Qinyu, let's go. Follow me. I'll show you around the Devil Peng Island. Lien Chong was about to bring Qinyu in. Wait, where did this Qilin come from? How can Devil Peng Island be a place where you can enter as you please? One of the leaders of the two groups of people who welcomed Lien Chong shouted at the Ink Qilin. Uncle, yeah, that's my brother Qinyu's holy beast. Lien Chong appears to be somewhat annoyed. Spirit beast. Hu Yi and Lien Shao were both shocked. Spirit beasts were not precious in the immortal and devil world, but they were almost impossible to find in the mortal world. That's because spirit beast collars are too rare. Father, mother, this spirit beast was tamed by my brother Qinyu with great difficulty. Of course, that's because he had a spirit beast collar. Otherwise, no matter how powerful he was, he wouldn't have been able to tame a spirit beast. Lien Chong explained. Spirit beast collar. Hu Yi and Lien Shao looked at Qinyu in a different light. Eternal creation pill. Spirit beast collar. Even in the chaotic astral ocean, there weren't many people who could take them out. However, Qinyu, a youngster who hadn't even reached the Dashang stage, had them. This made people doubt his background. Okay, brother Qinyu, let's go. I'll take you to Devil Peng Island to have a good look. Lien Chong said and flew directly into the Devil Peng Island with Qinyu. Hu Yi and Lien Chong stood side by side in the air. Looking at Qinyu and their son, their eyes flashed with an indescribable light. Madam, it seems this little brother Qinyu has a lot of secrets. Lien Chong said with a smile. Hui nodded and muttered. This Qinyu is really mysterious. Especially when he saw the two of us at the beginning. He didn't show any fear or surprise. Who is Hui? She is a 12th tribulation loose devil, the second master of the Devil Peng Island. Generally, even 5th or 6th tribulation loose immortals and loose devils would tremble with fear when they see Hui. However, Qinyu seemed to have seen an ordinary person. Husband, don't think too much. Now we have to think carefully about what gift to give to Qinyu. The eternal creation pill is a precious treasure equivalent to a second life. He also saved my son's life. What should we give him to thank him? Hui also became distressed. Even as the second master of the Devil Peng Island, at the moment she is also distressed about this matter. After all, the other party spent an eternal creation pill to save her son. The third master, Lien Shao, also frowned. What gift should they give to Qinyu? At the moment, Qinyu and Lien Chong are strolling around the Devil Peng Island. The Devil Peng Island is extremely large, comparable to the total size of the 3 dynasties of the Qianlong continent. However, its population is only more than 3,000 people. Therefore, the population density is extremely low. There are palaces, bewildering formations, illusory formations, killing formations, absolute formations, small bridges, flowing water, jade palaces, pavilions and terraces. The loose practitioners of the Devil Peng Island are at least 6 tribulation experts. Given their power, they can excavate huge stones to build palaces and immortals' caves with a wave of their hands. In the outer area of the Devil Peng Island, there are various styles of immortals' caves and palaces. There are also some peculiar formations. This is the outer area of the Devil Peng Island. However, the inner area is different. Apart from a large formation as a whole, there are no other formations in the inner area. It is like a paradise. After stepping into the core area of the Devil Pang Island, Qin Yu feels an astonishing amount of elemental holy energy. Haha, do you feel something peculiar? Brother Qin Yu, the core area of the Devil Pang Island is a lode of elemental holy rock. In the mortal world, only the chaotic astral ocean has elemental holy rock. The biggest lode is in the core area of the Devil Pang Island. This is also the reason why my big uncle used this place as his residence. Lian Chong says proudly. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. He begins to ponder. A lode of elemental holy rock. Then, does that mean there should be top-grade elemental holy rock here? Qin Yu's heart begins to heat up. I have a sword immortal puppet. It's just that it has to consume top-grade elemental holy rock. Even top-grade elemental holy rock won't work. But the sword immortal puppet is also very powerful. With one piece, I'll be a level 1 golden immortal. With 2 pieces, I'll be able to exert the power of a level 2 golden immortal. At this moment, Qin Yu begins to celebrate that he has stepped into the Devil Pang Island. Brother Lian Chong, how big is this lode of elemental holy rock? Qin Yu asks. Lian Chong thinks for a while and says, you see, the core area of the Devil Pang Island is only several hundred li in circumference. But this lode of elemental holy rock is only several tens li in circumference. Qin Yu is startled. Aren't you very shocked? Lian Chong says proudly. There are only a few lodes in the chaotic astral ocean. This is the biggest one. The smallest one is only a few li in circumference. Qin Yu smiles bitterly in his heart. The biggest one. How big is the Qingyu Immortal Mansion? It is several tens of kilometers in both length and width. Just the Qingyu Immortal Mansion alone is as big as this lode. Moreover, the Qingyu Immortal Mansion is only a huge elemental holy or from that huge lode of elemental holy rock. When Qin Yu was on the 2nd floor of the treasure storing tower of the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion, he obtained a lot of books and jade slips. Qin Yu understands one thing. In the immortal world, ordinary lodes of elemental holy rock are several hundred li in circumference, even thousands or tens of thousands of li in circumference. In the immortal world, a lode with a circumference of several tens of li can only be regarded as a tiny dot, not worth mentioning at all. However, a tiny lode of elemental holy rock that is not worth mentioning in the immortal world is known as the number 1 lode of elemental holy rock in the mortal world. The smaller the lode, the less elemental holy rock that can be mined. At the same time, the higher the grade of elemental holy rock will be lower. Qin Yu knows this very well in his heart. He immediately asks Lian Chong, Brother Lian Chong, has top-grade elemental holy rock ever been mined from this lode? Top grade. Lian Chong opens his eyes wide. Brother Qin Yu, do you know that even a single piece of low-grade elemental holy rock is extremely precious to a loose practitioner? A middle-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 low-grade elemental holy rock. A high-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 middle-grade elemental holy rock, and a top-grade elemental holy rock is equal to 100 high-grade elemental holy rock. Do you know the meaning of a top-grade elemental holy rock? Lian Chong almost shouts at Qin Yu. Qin Yu certainly knows the preciousness of top-grade elemental holy rock. Generally, small lodes of elemental holy rock that are only several tens of li in circumference may not even be able to mine top-grade elemental holy rock. Of course, there is also a possibility that it can be mined. According to the introduction in the books of the immortal world that Qin Yu obtained, generally, small lodes of elemental holy rock that are 100 li in circumference may be mined. Lodes of elemental holy rock that are 1000 li in circumference may be mined from 10 odd top-grade elemental holy rock, or even several tens of them. As for lodes of elemental holy rock that are 10,000 li in circumference, they may contain elemental holy essence. Elemental holy essence is equal to 100 top-grade elemental holy rock. From this, one can imagine how rare it is to carve such a huge elemental holy rock into Qingyu Immortal Mansion. It is also extremely precious in the immortal world. I know the meaning of top-grade elemental holy rock. I just want to ask if top-grade elemental holy rock has ever been mined. Qin Yu asks. Lien Chong thinks for a while. Well, it has been mined. It's been several thousand years. I once saw Big Uncle take out a top-grade elemental holy rock and show it to me. But afterwards he never showed it to me again. I don't know where he put it. Qin Yu's eyes brighten. That's good. In Qin Yu's Qingyu Immortal Mansion, those rockery, fountains, buildings and storehouses all have a large amount of elemental holy rock. There are even quite a lot of high-grade elemental holy rock, but there is no top-grade elemental holy rock. He can use a large amount of high-grade elemental holy rock to exchange for it, or he can use spiritual beast collars and middle-grade immortal weapons to exchange for it. Or he can use eternal creation pills to exchange for it. In Azura Palace and Golden Wing Palace face each other across a lake. Both of them have been built extremely large. At the moment, Qin Yu has been placed in an elegant two-story pavilion inside Azura Palace. In the hall on the first floor of this small pavilion, Lien Chong has just rushed over and says excitedly to Qin Yu, "Haha, brother Qin Yu, good news. My big uncle is very curious about you. He asked me to take you to Golden Wing Palace to see him tomorrow." Lien Chong says excitedly, "The master of the Devil Pang Island?" Qin Yu asks in reply. Lien Chong nods his head. His expression becomes serious again. "Brother Qin Yu, before you go, there's something I have to warn you about. My big uncle is very proud and aloof. If you annoy him, even I won't be able to save you." Qin Yu knows that most experts have their own specialties. "Remember, when you see my big uncle, don't call him Island Master. Call him Senior Zong." Lien Chong says sonorously. "Senior Zong." Qin Yu is doubtful. "That's right. My big uncle doesn't like other people calling him Island Master. His name is Zongju. If you call him Senior Zong, he'll be very happy. This is the first point." Lien Chong instructs carefully. Qin Yu gives a forced smile in his heart. This is only the first point. Looks like the master of the Devil Pang Island is really eccentric. The second point is, don't be too humble. My big uncle hates servile people the most. Lien Chong says again. Interesting. Your big uncle is really interesting." Qin Yu bursts out laughing. Suddenly he feels that this legendary invincible expert is really peculiar. Lien Chong says mysteriously, "Hey, brother Qin Yu, do you know why this island is called the Devil Pang Island?" "Why?" "Hey, the Devil Pang Island. The word mo is related to my parents. And the word Pang is related to my big uncle's original body, a super divine beast, Golden Wing Giant Pang." Lien Chong's eyes brighten. Golden Wing Giant Pang, a super divine beast. There's a super divine beast. Qin Yu has always been very puzzled about the ranks of divine beasts. For example, he knows that black dragons are more powerful than azure dragons. But what's the difference between divine beasts? "Ha, brother Qin Yu, you don't even know the ranks of divine beasts." Then I'll tell you clearly. Divine beasts are divided into 4 ranks. Lien Chong says everything he knows. As for Qin Yu, he was listening carefully. For example, the dragon clan's azure dragons, red dragons, blue dragons and the vast majority of other divine beasts are all low-level divine beasts. They account for 90% of the divine beasts. Black dragons, silver dragons, 3 blue-eyed toads, dragon rocky lions, fiery rocky lions, Shichu, 9-headed snakes and so on are all middle-level divine beasts. Golden dragons, heavenly rats and so on are high-level divine beasts. High-level divine beasts can already be considered extremely rare and precious. They have inherited memories and are extremely powerful. Lien Chong takes a deep breath. Finally, there's the rarest super divine beasts. Qin Yu's attention is completely focused on this. Divine beasts are divided into birds, beasts and scaly beasts. Among them, there are Golden Wing Giant Pang, phoenix, and there seemed to be 2 or 3 other kinds, but Big Uncle didn't tell me. Hearing this, Qin Yu understands that the master of the Devil Peng Island told Lien Chong all this knowledge about divine beasts. Among the scaly beasts, there's only one super divine beast, the 5-clawed golden dragon of the Dragon Clan. I'm very sure about this, Lien Chong says smilingly. Finally, there's the beasts on the ground. There are quite a few super divine beasts on the ground. I only know one, Fire Qilin. Fire Qilins are the same as phoenixes. They're both born naturally from flames. Chapter 234. In the early morning of the next day, the lake between Shura Palace and Golden Wing Palace is still misty. Qin Yu follows Lien Chong to Golden Wing Palace. The roof tiles of the Golden Wing Palace were golden in color. Other than that, the walls were thick and heavy black in color. Even before entering the Golden Wing Palace, Qin Yu already felt a chilly sensation engulfing his entire body. At the moment, Lien Chong also appears to be much more steady and serious. Big brother Lien Chong, master is already waiting for you in the back hall. A young man in gray with fierce eyes walks out from the main hall of Golden Wing Palace. The feeling his eyes give Qin Yu is like Xiaohei's eyes. Lien Chong nods, then says to Qin Yu, "Brother Qin Yu, come with me." Qin Yu follows Lien Chong into Golden Wing Palace. The main hall of Golden Wing Palace is completely black. Only the pillars are bronze. It is very natural for people who enter to feel as if their hearts are being pressed down by a mountain. It is so heavy. After passing through the main hall, they arrive at the back hall. The back hall is decorated differently from the main hall. It is mainly mahogany and gold. All kinds of chairs are dark red, and there are also some gold carvings. There is still a sense of steadiness, but it seems to be a bit more relaxed. He is wearing a moon-white silk robe. His long hair hangs softly over his shoulders. His eyes are very deep. "Uncle," Lien Chong says respectfully. Is the person in front of him Zhongju? Qin Yu carefully observes the person in front of him. From Lien Chong, Qin Yu knows that Zhongju's true body is a golden-winged rock. Golden-winged rocks have very terrifying ferocity. Originally Qin Yu thought Zhongju's momentum should be very fierce. At least his eyes should be as fierce as Xiaohei's. Who would have thought it would be completely different from what he expected? On the contrary, Zhongju's temperament is a bit like Uncle Lan's. Yes, it is Uncle Lan. The feeling Uncle Lan gives Qin Yu is that he does not give off the slightest pressure. It is like a spring breeze brushing his face or a drizzle touching his skin. It is very comfortable. It is very natural. Zhongju, on the other hand, had a sense of pressure in his steadiness, the pressure of an invincible master. "Senior Zhong." Qin Yu also bowed. Zhongju looked at Qin Yu carefully and nodded. Little brother Qin Yu's cultivation method is indeed strange and mysterious. "Seems your master is not simple. Alright, please take a seat." Sect. His cultivation method was indeed unique and mysterious. Qin Yu calmly sat down with Lien Chong. "Chonger, it was little brother Qin Yu who saved you this time, right? I'm very curious. Given your situation back then, even I wouldn't have been able to save you, unless I had the tribulation spirit pill. And I heard second sister and the others say that little brother Qin Yu seems to have the eternal creation pill." Zhongju looked at Qin Yu, his gaze like water. The eternal creation pill can completely restore one's power in the time of a breath. Its effect is even much better than that of the tribulation spirit pill. After swallowing the tribulation spirit pill, one's power will gradually recover. The time it takes should be slightly longer than that of your eternal creation pill. Little brother Qin Yu, I'm very curious. Given my relationship with Lianyun Island Master, I know how hard it is to make the tribulation spirit pill and how rare the materials are. And when making it, the true fire in one's body must be at least a heaven fire. Little brother Qin Yu's power is not yet at the Dashang stage, so I'm afraid the true fire in your body is not a heaven fire. Then, this pill should have been made by a senior in your school. But why has this eternal creation pill never been famous for countless years? I hope little brother can clear up my confusion. Zhongju said with a smile. Generally, only those who have reached the immortal, devil or demon stage can have true fire. But is it always so? Shouxian demonic and demon cultivators are all like this. But Qin Yu is different. Qin Yu did not say anything. He only stretched out his hand and a purple flame floated in Qin Yu's palm. His actions speak for themselves. Zhongju laughed out loud. I didn't expect that I would make a fool of myself today. I didn't expect little brother's true fire to have reached the heaven fire level. Could it be that little brother's actions mean that this eternal creation pill was made by you? Qin Yu felt helpless. Eternal creation pill. However, any foundation building pill or jade green pill used for healing, or any of these most basic pills, would be fused with a miraculous elemental life force in Qin Yu's body to form the eternal creation pill. Wasn't this made by Qin Yu? But generally speaking, pills at the level of the eternal creation pill were very difficult to make. It was almost impossible for an expert at Qin Yu's level to make it. Of course, the first restriction was the heaven fire. Senior Zong, this medicinal pill was indeed made by this junior personally. It's just that this medicinal pill's secret recipe and concoction method were told to me by this junior's uncle. At the moment, Qin Yu can only push the responsibility of that miraculous concoction method to Uncle Lon. To say that it was made by himself is really too shocking. Uncle. Zhongju's eyes brightened. You go back first. I have something to discuss with little brother Qin Yu. Zhongju suddenly said to Lian Chong. Could it be that his uncle wants the refining method of the eternal creation pill? Lian Chong was shocked. Between the eternal creation pill and the refining method of the eternal creation pill, which one is more precious? As long as there is nothing wrong with your brain, you will know the answer. Once he had the method to refine the eternal creation pill, he would be able to refine one pill after another. No matter what, I can't let little brother Qin Yu's refining method be taken away by force. Lian Chong was very grateful to Qin Yu. He did not want to make things difficult for Qin Yu. Lian Chong looked at Qin Yu and then at Zhongju saying, Uncle, don't make things difficult for little brother Qin Yu. This time he saved my life. Don't worry. How could your uncle be that kind of person? Zhongju said indifferently. Lian Chong's heart calmed down. His uncle always acts honorably. With his status, how could he do such a thing by force? It was his own imagination that was running wild. Uncle, I'll take my leave now. Lian Chong smiled at Qin Yu, then immediately left the back hall. Only Qin Yu and Zhongju were left in the back hall. Qin Yu looked at Zhongju. This is the absolute #1 figure in the chaotic astral ocean, an invincible legendary expert. Why did he want to talk to him alone? Zhongju said with a smile. Little brother Qin Yu, I don't have any other intentions by talking to you alone. I just want to know one thing. The uncle little brother Qin Yu mentioned, is he Senior Lon? Zhongju's eyes instantly became fierce as he stared at Qin Yu. Did you say Uncle Lon? Qin Yu was startled. You also know Uncle Lon? Haha, as I expected, apart from Senior Lon, I really couldn't think of anyone who could create such a technique to let a Dujia stage person have a heavenly flame. Moreover, he also created such a technique as the Eternal Fortune Pill. If it's Senior Lon, then I'm not the least bit surprised. Zhongju said with a clear laugh. Qin Yu suddenly felt that the Zhongju in front of him no longer gave him pressure like a moment ago. On the contrary, he was a lot closer to him. Everything was because of Uncle Lon. Senior Zong, that's not the case. This martial technique that I'm training in was created by my master. It was not created by Uncle Lon. Qin Yu said seriously. Although his master Lei Wei was only at the middle Dujia stage when he died. But this technique was created by him after all. Zhongju was startled. He immediately burst into laughter and said, There's no difference. Since he's your master, he should also be related to Senior Lon. They're both reclusive experts. Qin Yu wanted to say that his master's power was far inferior to Uncle Lan's, but Qin Yu didn't say much. Let Zhongju think so. Fei. I really didn't expect that your uncle was Senior Lan. Zhongju's face was full of smiles. Ever since Zhongju knew about the relationship between Qin Yu and Uncle Lan, his attitude towards Qin Yu changed greatly. He became very cordial. Even Lian Chong found it strange. Why would his arrogant uncle take such special care of Qin Yu? How would Lian Chong know about the relationship between Uncle Lan and Zhongju? Even Qin Yu didn't know about the relationship between Uncle Lan and Zhongju. Zhongju called him Senior Lan. What's the relationship between the two of them? Second Island Master Hu Yi and Third Island Master Lian Shao originally said that they would give Qin Yu treasures as thanks on the second day he arrived at Devil Pung Island. However, even after a few days, the Second Island Master Hu Yi and the Third Island Master Lian Shao did not appear. One day, in the middle of the lake between Golden Wing Palace and Azura Palace, there was a pavilion. This pavilion was alone in the middle of the lake, and there was no passage leading to it. As for Qin Yu, he stepped into the air and flew over. He directly arrived at the pavilion. Sitting in the pavilion, feeling the energy of the sun's core in his body being refined and purified, Qin Yu felt that he could reach the middle stage of passing calamity in another 10 days to half a month. Once he reaches the middle stage of passing calamity, the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation will follow. 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation, can I successfully pass it? Even the 5-clawed golden dragon and Senior Zhongju failed. On the contrary, the Azure Dragon of the Dragon Clan and some ordinary self-cultivators succeeded. 9 from 9 heaven tribulation. I really don't have the slightest confidence. Qin Yu let out a long sigh. 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. The stronger the power, the higher the talent. The more terrifying the power of the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation is. The 5-clawed golden dragon and the golden-winged roc are both super divine beasts, but they didn't succeed in passing the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. On the contrary, the 3 azure dragons of the Dragon Clan and many ordinary self-cultivators all succeeded in passing the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. When a self-cultivator reaches the middle stage of passing calamity, they will have to face their own 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. Even though they are both 9 from 9 to heaven tribulations, the power of each is as different as heaven and earth. Who dares to say who can pass it steadily? No one dares to say. Qin Yu ponders in his heart. While the sun's core in his dantian is being refined and purified, the Azura Palace family of 3 is distressed together. No, although these Lingji mushrooms are precious, they are nothing compared to the eternal creation pill. Elemental Holy Rock. Elemental Holy Rock is okay. But father, mother, you only have so much elemental Holy Rock, are you willing to part with it? Lian Chong says to his parents. Lian Shao and Hu Yi have been distressed over this gift for several days. No matter what the gift is, they feel that it cannot compare to their son's life plus the eternal creation pill. Elemental Holy Rock. What harm is there in giving these 2 high-grade elemental Holy Rock to little brother Qin Yu? As long as he is satisfied, your mother and I will at least have peace of mind. Lian Shao says seriously. Zayashinists do not like to owe people favors, which has a great impact on the cultivation of the mind. Lian Chong says with a shake of his head. Father, mother, don't forget that brother Qin Yu is not a loose immortal, loose devil or loose demon. He is only a passing calamity stage Zayashinist. He simply cannot use elemental Holy Rock. Giving him elemental Holy Rock is of no use at all. Lian Shao and Hu Yi are startled. They immediately smile bitterly. Right, Qin Yu is not a loose cultivator, nor is he a celestial immortal, celestial devil or celestial demon. He simply cannot absorb elemental Holy Rock's energy. If Qin Yu could absorb elemental Holy Rock's energy, he would have done so long ago. Why would he bother to go to the chaotic astral ocean to kill some ominous beasts? Madam, whatever you and I have collected for 10,000 years, Qin Yu can choose. We can even let him take all of it. How about this? Lian Xiao has been forced into a corner. Some of the ores and medicinal herbs in his possession are very precious, but they cannot compare with the eternal creation pill. Fine. Hui also agrees. The two of them are 11th tribulation and 12th tribulation loose devils. At this stage, they do not have much demand for external objects. What harm is there in giving all of them to Qinyu? Moreover, as long as the Devil Peng Island exists with their status, what kind of materials will they not be able to find? Lian Chong ponders for a while, then nods. Well, that's the only way. The three of them then head straight for Qinyu's place. The treasures collected for 10,000 years by the two island masters of the Devil Peng Island are now ready for Qinyu to choose. Chapter 235. In the pavilion at the center of the lake, Lian Xiao, Hu Yi and Lian Chong soar into the air and fly directly into the pavilion. Qinyu, who is quietly pondering, raises his head and immediately stands up with a smile. Seniors, what's the matter? Qinyu asks. In fact, Qinyu has more or less guessed it in his mind. Little brother Qinyu, you spent a precious eternal creation pill to save my son. My wife and I are endlessly grateful. But after being troubled for a few days, we really can't think of anything to express our gratitude. Oh. An interspatial ring flies out from Lian Zhao's finger. This is my interspatial ring. Inside it is my collection for 10,000 years. There are elemental holy stones, all kinds of precious medicinal herbs for refining medicines, and also some ores for refining weapons. Little brother Qin, you can choose as much as you want. Me too. I've already removed the blood contract with this interspatial ring. You can take all of them. Hu Yi says smilingly. The couple does not care about their collection for 10,000 years at all. Seniors, you. Qinyu simply does not know what to say. He saved their son's life, so it is normal for them to give him gifts. But to take all of them out like this, he does not know what to do. Should he really take all of them like a gangster? Lian Chong pats Qinyu's shoulder and says smilingly, Little brother Qinyu, don't hesitate to take them. Don't be so cautious. One of your eternal creation pills is equivalent to one life. Qinyu gives a faint smile and receives the two interspatial rings. He sweeps them with his holy sense. Medicinal herbs for refining pills. There are a lot of immortal herbs and Ganoderma growing in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion. Those herbs have been growing for God knows how many years. Their medicinal effects are much more precious than those in the interspatial rings. Ores. Although there are not many ores in the Qingyu Immortal Mansion, they are much more numerous and of a higher grade than those in the interspatial rings. In the Immortal Mansion of Immortal Emperor Niyang, some random things are much more precious than these. The reason why Qinyu took the interspatial rings is to see if there is a top-grade elemental holy stone. If he had a top-grade elemental holy ore, it meant that he could raise the strength of the sword immortal puppet by another level, reaching the strength of a level 2 golden immortal. A level 2 golden immortal sword immortal was so strong that even Zhongju would have a hard time defeating him. Thousands of low-grade elemental holy stones, dozens of mid-grade elemental holy stones, and 2 high-grade elemental holy stones. This is precious. Qinyu smiled bitterly in his heart. It seems that I still thought too highly of the Devil Peng Island's elemental holy stone mine. Qinyu had hundreds of high-grade elemental spirit stones. If someone had a top-grade elemental spirit stone, then he would be willing to exchange 100 high-grade elemental spirit stones for a top-grade elemental spirit stone. Unfortunately, in the mortal world, Qinyu still hadn't found anyone with a top-grade spirit essence stone. Perhaps Zhongju did. Qinyu handed 2 interspatial rings to Lian Xiao and Hu Yi, while holding a low-grade elemental spirit stone in his hand. Seniors, this low-grade elemental spirit stone is a gift from the two of you. Qinyu said with an indifferent smile. Little brother Qinyu, you. Lian Xiao and Hu Yi were stunned for a moment. Of course they knew what was in the interspatial rings, but Qinyu actually only chose a low-grade elemental holy stone. In the mortal world where elemental holy stone was extremely scarce, A low-grade elemental holy stone was considered precious. But compared to the eternal creation pill, it was simply incomparable. After all, the tribulation spiritual pill with the same effect was extremely precious to the drifting Cloud Island's island master. Hui looked at Qinyu, and suddenly felt a burst of emotion in her heart. Little brother Qinyu, are you afraid that we won't be at ease because we owe you a favor, so you took the lowest grade elemental holy stone? Hui asked rhetorically. A single low-grade elemental spirit stone was indeed dispensable to them. The reason why Qinyu did that was because he wanted the two of them to feel more at ease. If Qinyu had not taken anything, Hui would have been indebted to Qinyu for a long time. But Qinyu took it. Only a low-grade elemental holy stone. A low-grade elemental holy stone as a reward is enough. But I want to ask one thing. Qinyu looked at Hui and Lian Xiao and said. Lian Chong patted Qinyu on the shoulder and said, "Good brother, just take a low-grade elemental holy stone. I admire you. Whatever you want to ask, just ask. We'll definitely answer." Hui and Lian Xiao also nodded and looked at Qinyu. Qinyu said with a nod, "Seniors, I need to do something now and I need a top-grade elemental holy stone to do it. I don't know if there are any top-grade elemental holy stones here. Of course, I'll use my eternal creation pill to exchange for it. I still have a few eternal creation pills here." Qinyu did not make a large number of eternal creation pills. Firstly, Qinyu does not know whether the green light spots in Lu Xing's tears are endless or not. If they are limited, it will be terrible if they are all used up. Secondly, treasures, once they are not rare, they are not treasures. Only a small number can increase the value of eternal creation pills. Top-grade elemental holy stone. Hui frowned and said slowly, "If we had this top-grade elemental holy stone, we would not need little brother Qinyu to exchange for it at all. We would give it to you directly. It's just that we don't have it." Lian Xiao also frowned and said, "Big brother has it, but it's unlikely that he'll take it out." Lian Chong retorted, "Father, mother, big uncle is already at the 12th tribulation. Maybe he'll ascend to the demon world at some point. In the demon world, there will be more elemental holy stones than in the mortal world. Why would big uncle carry that top-grade elemental holy stone with him? What's more, I think big uncle treats brother Qinyu very well. Maybe he'll take it out." Qinyu understood in his heart that obviously only Zhongju has this top-grade elemental holy stone. "You're right about one thing." A voice rose in everybody's ears. They saw Zhongju appear in the pavilion out of thin air. There are 4 seats on a stone table in the pavilion. I'm indeed a 12th tribulation loose demon. It won't be long before I ascend to the demon world. This top-grade elemental holy stone isn't very important to me," Zhongju said. Lian Chong said at once, "Then big uncle should take it out." "Can't take it out," Zhongju said with a shake of his head. Qinyu was startled, but he did not say anything. He quietly listened to Zhongju's explanation. "You should know that the load of elemental holy stone in the core area of my Devil Peng Island is the biggest load of elemental holy stone in the entire chaotic astral ocean. And this top-grade elemental holy stone is the core of this load." Zhongju swept everybody with his eyes. Qinyu secretly nodded. A small load of elemental holy stone that is only several tens of li in length may not even have top-grade elemental holy stone. If there is a top-grade elemental holy stone, it is most probably the core. I took out that top-grade elemental holy stone once. But after taking it out, I found that the whole load had dried up. Then when I put it back, I found that the load was slowly producing some more elemental holy stone. Zhongju looked at Qinyu. "Little brother Qinyu, this load of elemental holy stone is only a small load. In the demon world, there are so many loads. Taking out a core and hollowing out a load is nothing. But this is the mortal world. There are too few loads of elemental holy stone. If you take away the core, the top-grade elemental holy stone, this load will be called a dead load. If you keep digging, it will dry up." Zhongju looked at Hui. "Second sister, after so many years, Have you ever seen the load of elemental holy stone on my Devil Peng Island decrease? Hui said with a shake of her head. No. Zhongju said with a nod. That's right. The amount of elemental holy stone I take out every year is equal to the amount of elemental holy stone that grows every year. This way, this load can be maintained forever. Qin Yu understood Zhongju's meaning in his heart. Before I occupied this Devil Peng Island, there were seniors who occupied it. But none of those seniors dug out the top-grade elemental holy stone. It has been like this for millions of years. I don't want this load to be cut off because of me. Zhongju stared at Qin Yu. Qin Yu understood Zhongju's meaning in his heart and said with a smile, Senior Zhong doesn't need to say any more. This junior understands Senior Zhong's difficulties. Since this load can last for millions of years, then let it continue. At this moment, Qin Yu's heart stirred. With a flip of his hand, a transmission talisman appeared in his hand. Big brother the monkey and I have successfully passed the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation, haha. We succeeded. Xiao Hei's voice came from the transmission talisman. At this moment Xiao Hei was obviously very excited. Qin Yu, who was a little regretful just now, suddenly became excited. Succeeded? You've both passed the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation. That's great. But Qin Yu still had a trace of doubt in his heart. Even the 5-clawed golden dragon and the golden-winged great Peng failed to pass the tribulation. Xiao Hei and Hou Fei should be at least high-class divine beasts. Passing the tribulation shouldn't have been so easy. Kaka, big brother, this time my mixed hairy bird was really in danger. Luckily, Uncle Lan's guidance was very effective. The mixed hairy bird and I really succeeded in passing the tribulation. Hou Fei was also very excited at the moment. Only now did Qin Yu understand that their success in passing the tribulation was actually related to Uncle Lan's guidance. Big brother the monkey and I will come over right away. Where are you? Kuro asked anxiously. Qin Yu and his 2 brothers were communicating through sound transmission. On the Tenglong continent, the Xiamoists and Xiationists had already clashed. The time was delayed until Reverend Ming Liang questioned Dame Lian Yu about the inkwash painting. In the misty hall of the Inue Palace, the Lian Yu hall had already exploded. Reverend Ming Liang was grabbing Dame Lian Yu's yuanying while Wu Hei was furiously rushing towards Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing. You won't say. Very well. Reverend Ming Liang's deep and quiet eyes emitted a terrifying light. Stop! A loud roar resounded through the entire misty hall. Wu Hei rushed over extremely fast like a demon. If you take another step forward, she'll definitely die. Reverend Ming Liang's eyes regained their tranquility. He only gave Wu Hei a glance before Wu Hei suddenly stopped. Just now, Reverend Ming Liang's voice had already resounded in his mind. Reverend Ming Liang looked at Dame Lian Yu and said through sound transmission, Looks like you're really courting death. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Don't waste time. Dame Lian Yu's yuanying had a cold smile on her face. Reverend Ming Liang's right hand, which was grabbing Dame Lian Yu, suddenly shone. Seeing this scene, Wu Hei became furious. Raising his huge black axe, he charged towards Reverend Ming Liang. Facing such a frighteningly powerful Wu Hei, Reverend Ming Liang only slightly pointed the finger of his left hand. Speck of light. In an instant, it filled Wu Hei's entire field of vision. At this moment, Wu Hei unexpectedly felt death. He hurriedly swung his huge black axe towards that speck of light. The moment the axe hit, Wu Hei felt his body shake violently. Unexpectedly, he could not help retreating several hundred meters and bumping into another palace. So strong! The loose devils from the other schools were all shocked in their hearts. There was no need to doubt Wu Hei's power. Just look at how he was able to suppress Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing. However, Reverend Ming Liang unexpectedly injured Wu Hei with just one finger. What kind of power was this? No wonder he was the spiritual leader of the Xiaxianists. Overconfident. If it was Wu Kongxue who came, I might have given him some face. But you're not qualified. Those thin lips indifferently said words that made Wu Hei so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Reverend Ming Liang was in the center of the crowd of loose devils, but his Taoist robe was fluttering. His tranquil eyes obviously showed that he did not take the person in front of him seriously. Haha, Ming Liang, didn't you say that if Wu Kongxue came, you'd give him face? Now that I've come, you'd better let Lian Yu go. Kind of wild laughter rose. At the same time, blood-red clouds that blotted out the sky and covered the earth floated over. At that time in the Nine Swords Immortal Mansion, Dame Yan Ji risked her life only to use a few devil's bloody clouds. But Wu Kongxue only had to make an appearance, and there were thousands upon thousands of them. Moreover, Wu Kongxue's bloody clouds even had a strong smell of blood. Wu Kongxue. Reverend Ming Liang's right hand that was about to kill also stopped. He stared at that blood-red cloud in the sky. A red beam of light descended from the sky. In an instant, a silhouette appeared in the misty palace. This person was so handsome that he almost looked like a woman. To be exact, he was somewhat similar to Reverend Ming Liang. They had the same red lips, white teeth and jade-like skin. Only this Wu Kongxue's eyes were a terrifying blood-red color. He was wearing a blood-red robe, which looked like it had been dyed with blood. Long time no see, Ming Liang. Wu Kongxue, you're really lucky to have survived your fight with Hu Yi. Reverend Ming Liang said indifferently. Wu Kongxue gave a brilliant smile. When we were at the 11th tribulation, we were evenly matched. Now we're both at the 12th tribulation, but I still don't know what level your stellar art has reached and whether it can withstand my blood devil path. Won't you know if you try? Reverend Ming Liang grabbed Dame Lian Yu's yuanying with his right hand. At the same time, his hand shone brightly again. Chapter 236. Seeing the scene of Reverend Ming Liang and Wu Kongxue confronting each other, Wu Hei, Reverend Ming Shan, Reverend Lan Bing and the other experts all become extremely nervous. They watch without blinking. You two are fighting each other. Release my empress first. A voice containing anger rises. The speaker is an elder of the Inue Palace. Not only him, but other experts of the Inue Palace were also nervous and worried. The number one person in the Inue Palace is Dame Lian Yu. The Inue Palace was unable to contend against the enemy in terms of super experts, which was unacceptable to the Inue Palace. However, at the moment Dame Lian Yu's yuanying is in Reverend Ming Liang's hands. Given his power, how could he possibly care about those nobodies of the Inue Palace? Wu Kongxue and Reverend Ming Liang look at each other. The others don't even dare to breathe loudly. Dame Lian Yu's life is in the hands of Reverend Ming Liang. A blood-red mist starts to spread around Wu Kongxue's body. A terrifying bloody aura immediately covers the entire misty hall. This is the legendary invincible, Devil King Wu Kongxue. The energy in Reverend Ming Liang's body was highly condensed. At the edge of his body, there seemed to be specks of light twinkling. Let's go. Reverend Ming Liang's voice suddenly rang out. Reverend Ming Shan and Reverend Lan Bing couldn't help but be startled. However, they quickly came to their senses and hurriedly followed Reverend Ming Liang as they broke through the air and flew away. As for Dame Lian Yu's yuanying, it is thrown to the ground. Dame Lian Yu's body flashes. Who? The spiritual energy of heaven and earth surges and gathers. Figure appears. The body of an itinerant immortal only needed to expend energy to condense. Wu Kongxue, that Reverend Ming Liang was so arrogant as to barge directly into our territory. How can you let him leave so casually? Wu Hei says with a cold humph. Wu Kongxue takes a look at Wu Hei and says coldly, "Oh, could it be you want Lian Yu to be killed?" After saying that, Wu Kongxue immediately walked towards the main hall of the Misty Hall. Dame Lian Yu's face was pale. Even though she had taken some pills, her power was still greatly damaged. Big brother Wu Hei. Dame Lian Yu shook her head at Wu Hei, indicating that he should stop talking. Right then, a fiery light shot over at an extremely fast speed and landed in the Misty Palace's area. This person had red eyebrows, a round face, and extremely small eyes. It was the #1 expert of the Yanma sect, Fire Demon. In fact, Fire Devil and Wu Kongxue had rushed back from the chaotic astral ocean together. Only Wu Kongxue was worried that something would happen, so he rushed to the Misty Hall first. In the main hall of the Misty Palace. Unexpectedly, Wu Kongxue was not sitting on the main seat. He was only sitting on one of the chairs in the main hall with his eyes closed. The Fire Demon also sat beside him. Dame Lian Yu directly sat on the main seat. Everyone. Dame Lian Yu sweeps her eyes over everyone below. Her gaze pauses for a moment on Wu Kongxue. That Ming Liang directly broke into our Misty Hall. Luckily, Senior Wu Kongxue arrived in the end and saved the heaven-sundering diagram. But now, with Senior Wu Kongxue here, I believe that those Xiaxianists definitely won't dare to come to our Misty Hall again. Dame Lian Yu is resolute. The other loose devil experts also nod their heads in agreement. With Wu Kongxue here, Ming Liang would not have come unless there was something wrong with his head. Even though this heaven-sundering diagram has been saved, there are a total of 3 diagrams. One is with the Dragon Clan and one is with Qin Yu of the Stellar Tower. It's very difficult to get the Dragon Clan's diagram. As for Qin Yu of the Stellar Tower, even though there's a loose immortal expert behind him, now we also have Senior Wu Kongxue here. As long as Senior Wu Kongxue gets involved. Haha! Wu Kongxue suddenly laughs. Dame Lian Yu cannot help but stop talking. Everyone at the scene looks at Wu Kongxue. They also do not know why he is laughing. Fire Devil instead rebukes Dame Lian Yu angrily. Lian Yu, brother Wu came here because of my invitation. How could he be ordered by you at will? Moreover, don't you know how formidable that expert behind the Stellar Tower is? Even the Xiaxianists suffered losses. How could that expert be easy to deal with? This Yanma school was originally on par with the Inue Palace, but because the Inue Palace obtained the heaven-sundering diagram and was recognized by the Devil Emperor of the Devil World, its status immediately rose above the Yanma school. As the #1 expert of the Yanma school, Fire Devil naturally dislikes Dame Lian Yu. Fire Devil. Wu Kongxue reaches out his hand to stop Fire Devil. Ming Liang himself didn't even get into action to test how formidable that Stellar Tower expert is before he retreated. Him retreating doesn't mean I'm afraid of that expert. Lian Yu, you arrange this operation. I want to see what kind of divine being that mysterious expert is. Wu Kongxue's eyes glitter. His aura even spreads out involuntarily. For a moment, everyone at the scene holds their breaths as if they have seen a bloody storm. Good, Senior Wu Kongxue's words are enough. How can us Xiaxianists be as cowardly as the Xiaxianists? Dame Lian Yu says excitedly. She immediately starts to arrange the plan to fight for that heaven-sundering diagram of the Stellar Tower. Senior brother, why did you let Lian Yu go just now? Given our power, even if we killed Lian Yu, I believe it wouldn't have been hard for us to escape unscathed. On the way back, Reverend Ming Shan asks his senior brother. Reverend Ming Liang says with an indifferent smile, there are many reasons. Killing Lian Yu or not doesn't affect us much. Isn't it just an 11th tribulation, loose devil? Moreover, the matter isn't as simple as you think. Do you think Wu Kongxue and Wu Hei's motives for helping the Xiaxianists this time are really so pure? Haha. Moreover, given Lian Yu's temperament, she won't be satisfied with just one ink painting. They'll definitely covet the other one. With Wu Kongxue's help, Lian Yu's courage will definitely increase greatly. Maybe she'll even go to the Stellar Tower. I just want to let them feel the power of that mysterious expert. The smile on Reverend Ming Liang's face is still so calm. Reverend Ming Liang. Reverend Lan Bing suddenly asks. Are you really sure that the expert behind the Stellar Tower can resist Wu Kongxue and the others? If Wu Kongxue and the others really obtain that inkwash painting, we'll be in a bad situation. Reverend Ming Liang slowly lets out a breath. If my guess is correct, it's basically impossible for them to get the ink painting from that mysterious expert of the Stellar Tower. Reverend Ming Liang's guess is correct. Those people won't be able to get the ink painting from Uncle Lon. However, Reverend Ming Liang does not know that Uncle Lon has already left. That ink painting is also not in Uncle Lan's hands. It is not even in the hands of Qin Yu. Instead, it is in the hands of a dynasty's emperor, Qin Zheng, who has not even reached the Jindan stage. But we can't have any accidents. Given my mysterious technique, once I hide my aura, even Wu Kongxue won't necessarily be able to detect me. I'll follow them alone. You and the others will follow behind me. Once they get the ink painting, we'll be the aureole. Reverend Ming Liang's stellar point art is an extremely mysterious immortal secret book. His entire body's energy is extremely condensed. Not only is his attack like this, his aura is also like this. When his aura is condensed and restrained, given his power, experts at the same level as him will really find it difficult to detect him. Ever since this confrontation, the Xiamoists and Xiaxianists have been minding their own business and living in harmony. The Xiamoists use the Yingyue Palace as their headquarters, while the Xiaxianists use the Qingshu Temple as their headquarters. As time goes by, various schools' legendary loose practitioners have rushed back from the chaotic astral ocean. The number of experts in both camps has also begun to increase. Naturally, the Yingyue Palace's plan has also begun to be carried out. On the Devil Pang Island in the chaotic astral ocean, last time Qin Yu communicated with his two brothers. Afterwards, Ho Fei and Kuro decided to rush to the chaotic astral ocean to meet up with Qin Yu. Qin Yu also decided to leave the Devil Pang Island to reunite with his brothers. At the moment, Qin Yu is saying goodbye to the three masters of the Devil Pang Island and Lian Chong. Little brother Qin Yu, this is my Devil Pang Island's Devil Pang command card. It still has some prestige in the chaotic astral ocean. If you see some blind people coming to make things difficult for you, you only need to take out this Devil Pang command card. I believe not many people will make things difficult for you. Zhong Ju passes a black command card to Qin Yu. Devil Pang command card. Having this Devil Pang command card in the chaotic astral ocean is almost like having an extra protective talisman. Even though Qin Yu is not afraid of ordinary loose practitioners due to his power, the less trouble the better. Thank you, Senior Zhong. Qin Yu receives this Devil Pang command card. Little brother Qin Yu, you've used the eternal creation pill to save my son. Even though you've taken the reward, you've already taken the reward. Even though you took the reward, it was only a piece of low-grade elemental holy rock. My husband and I won't say much. If you see some blind people, just send us a message. We'll rush over immediately and kill them for you directly. In this mortal world, apart from that dragon clan's leader, there are only a few people who can stop us. Lian Xiao says solemnly to Qin Yu. Hu Yi is a 12th tribulation loose devil and an expert of the devil path. Only Wu Kongxue and a few other people can contend against her alone. Plus her husband Lian Xiao. Even though Lian Xiao is somewhat weak, once the two of them start a formation, their power can even complement each other. When the two of them join forces, they are so powerful that even Wu Kongxue and the others do not dare to contend against them. This is also the reason why the two of them are called the twin Azura devils. Chong, take us to see little brother Qin Yu off. Hu Yi says to her son. Yes, mother. Lian Chong then looks at Qin Yu. Let's go, brother Qin Yu. Qin Yu and Lian Chong fly out of the Devil Pang Island. Flying towards the northeast, Qin Yu and Lian Chong talk to each other. Even though the two of them have not known each other for a long time, they have formed deep feelings for each other. However, at this moment, "Hi, brother Lian Chong." A voice comes from afar. Immediately afterwards, a figure in a fluttering white robe appears in front of Qin Yu and Lian Chong. This newcomer has a kind of wanton and unrestrained temperament. "Xiao Yao, it's you." A hint of joy appears on Lien Chong's face. Brother Qinyu, let me introduce you. This is the disciple of the master of the drifting cloud island, Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao is very easy to get along with. Xiaoyao, this is, Xiaoyao says smilingly. Needless to say, I already know that this is your good brother, Qinyu. Even though I'm on the drifting cloud island, I've also heard that you have a good brother who even saved your life. Hello, brother Qinyu. Xiaoyao. What I like most is to roam the world freely and make good friends. From now on, you're also my good friend. Xiaoyao says enthusiastically to Qinyu. As soon as Qinyu hears this, he figures out some information about the person in front of him. Roam the world and make good friends. This Xiaoyao should have a lot of friends in the chaotic astral ocean. Judging from his temperament, he shouldn't be that kind of insidious person. Qinyu also accepts this person's good intentions. Qinyu looks at Lien Chong. Brother Lien Chong, you've already escorted me so far. There's no need to go any further. Lien Chong is startled. He immediately pats Qinyu's shoulder and says, Good brother, I know you're anxious to reunite with your two brothers, so I won't stop you. It's just that if you have time later, you must come to the Devil Peng Island and have a good reunion with me. Certainly. Qinyu says with a nod. Brother Qinyu, you're leaving. Xiaoyao says in surprise. Qinyu immediately says, Brother Xiaoyao, my two brothers have just passed the 9 from 9 heaven tribulation, so I want to reunite with them. Naturally, I have to leave. We've just met and you want to leave. This. Xiaoyao appears to be somewhat helpless. Forget it. Brother Qinyu, let's leave a holy sense imprint on each other's transmitter. If anything happens, we can contact each other through the transmitter. Qinyu nods and takes out his transmitter. The waves of the chaotic astral ocean cover the sky. Qinyu is riding the black Qilin extremely fast towards the northeast. He knows that at this moment, Ho Fei and Kuro are rushing towards him. Fei and Xiao Hei have already passed the 9 from 9 to heaven tribulation, so they can transform into human form. I wonder what Fei and Xiao Hei look like now. Qinyu thinks to himself. Qinyu is still unable to use the teleportation technique, so he can only ride the black Qilin to fly. After flying for nearly half a month, Qinyu arrives at a cold place. Of course, Qinyu doesn't care about the cold at all. What is his cultivation base? The middle stage of the Dujie stage. I've finally reached the middle stage of the Dujie stage. Qinyu has a trace of a smile on his face. During this period of flying, the solar core in his body is constantly refining and purifying, finally reaching the middle stage of the crossing calamity stage. Now, the solar core in Qinyu's body is much larger than before, occupying almost a third of the planet's volume in his dantian. As he continues to fly, it's so cold. Qinyu can't help but shiver. What level has Qinyu's body reached? Even Deshang stage divine beasts may not be able to catch up with him. Now his body actually feels cold. That cold is imaginable. Master, there seems to be a powerful expert here. The black Qilin says to Qinyu. Qinyu also has a solemn expression. I also feel that powerful aura. It seems that there is more than one person. At this moment, Qinyu is highly concentrated, carefully paying attention to everything around him. If it doesn't affect him, he doesn't want to fight with others. Chapter 237. The extremely cold air has frozen the seawater within several li of it. Gusts of white cold air are floating around. Qinyu knows very well that the chaotic astral ocean is very vast. The moment Qinyu arrives, the hidden expert blocks the ice area on Qinyu's way. Obviously, the expert hiding in the dark should be aiming at him. Little Ink, you fly a bit further away. The enemy should be very strong. No matter how strong he is, I'm sure I can protect myself. You'll only drag me down if you stay here. Qinyu immediately says to the Ink Qilin through his holy sense. Master, in the chaotic astral ocean, few people dare not to give face to the Devil Peng Island. If you run into danger, you only need to take out the Devil Peng token. I believe the enemy won't dare to provoke you then. The Ink Qilin advises kindly. Qin Yu gives an indifferent smile. Taking out the Devil Pung token when encountering such a trivial matter is really too cowardly. You retreat far away first. Qin Yu orders. The Ink Qilin also knows what's good for him. Yes, Master. Master, you also have to be careful. Immediately, the Ink Qilin flies several hundred li away and watches this place from a distance. Bang! The frozen ice surface explodes and a figure appears. With a sturdy body and messy silver hair like an afro. He looks like a lion. The white battle armor accentuated the man's perfect muscles. His eyes, however, are staring at Qin Yu with an ice-cold and calm gaze. Well, a Zionist who hasn't even reached the Deshang stage can actually break into the depths of the chaotic astral ocean. Seems you should have a lot of treasures on you. The man with the lion-like hair says smilingly. When Qin Yu first started to hunt ferocious beasts, he was still at the border of the chaotic astral ocean. However, he ran to the Devil Pung Island with Lian Chong. Even though he has been flying for more than half a month now, he is still in the core area of the chaotic astral ocean. Without some strength, it is impossible to reach such a deep place. Being able to reach here safely before reaching the Deshang stage, it is normal for this man to judge that he has treasures. Why are you asking this? Qin Yu asks in reply with an indifferent smile. The three of us like treasures, so we're going to snatch them. The big man with the lion hairstyle grinned, revealing his snow-white teeth. 3 sounds of wind breaking could be heard as 3 hidden weapons shot towards Qin Yu from 3 different directions at an extremely fast speed. One of the concealed weapons was shot from the hands of the burly man in front of him, and the other 2 should have been shot by his other 2 brothers. An afterimage. Qin Yu possessed a body that surpassed that of a divine beast at the Deshang stage. Coupled with the power of the stars, Qin Yu possessed a terrifying speed. Several afterimages flashed, and Qin Yu stood still. There was some blood on his face and chest. So fast. Qin Yu narrowed his eyes. If it wasn't for his strong recovery ability, he would have been seriously injured by now. Those 3 concealed weapons were much faster than ordinary flying swords. At the same time, their attack power was also terrifying. Qin Yu suspected that it was comparable to his middle-grade immortal artifact. Middle-grade immortal artifact? How is that possible? Even 10th Tribulation loose immortals don't have a middle-grade immortal artifact. I estimate that this burly man is only at the Deshang stage. Qin Yu could sense the aura of the burly man in front of him. But how can those weapons be so powerful? My body is so tough, but I simply couldn't resist that astonishing penetrating power. Strong penetrating power. Fast speed. Shockingly agile. These were the weapons of the 3 mysterious men. You're really something. You were actually able to resist the joint attack of the 3 of us. That burly man laughed. Unfortunately, that was just a warm-up. Now I'll let you know what it means to be an inescapable net. Qin Yu's eyes lit up. You didn't use your full strength, so how could I use my full strength? Qin Yu was not afraid at all. Haha. You're really brave to say such big words. Although the 3 of us are only at the Deshang stage, when we join forces, even an 8th Tribulation loose cultivator is no match for us, let alone a little Dujia stage Zionist like you. That burly man said confidently. Qin Yu's heart jumped. You're a divine beast. Mart. The burly man said with a nod. A divine beast at the Deshang stage, even a low-level one, is comparable to a 5th Tribulation loose cultivator. This burly man's strength alone is comparable to a 5th or 6th Tribulation loose cultivator. If the 3 brothers join forces, they are comparable to a 7th Tribulation loose cultivator. Coupled with the fortuitous encounters of the 3 brothers, even an 8th Tribulation loose cultivator would be finished if he ran into them. This is also the reason why the 3 brothers have been able to move unhindered in the chaotic astral ocean and still live comfortably until now. Second brother, third brother, let's go. The burly man said indifferently. This time Qin Yu saw it clearly. Those are three awls similar to the tip of a sword, which are constantly rotating and attacking. That terrifying penetrating power of the tip even tears the air apart. No wonder even Qin Yu's body was unable to resist those three hidden weapons. Curve, straight line, circle. In the beginning, the three hidden weapons were not fast, but in just a short while, the three hidden weapons' speed reached an astonishing level. The air seems to have been moved. For a moment, Qin Yu's entire body turns into more than 10 afterimages, dodging unceasingly. No matter how fast a person's speed is, he will not be able to match the speed of these three special hidden weapons. These three hidden weapons were obtained by the three brothers by fortuitous encounter. Their speed is even comparable to Qin Yu's middle-grade immortal sword. Even if Qin Yu's reaction is fast, he will still be stabbed from time to time. Qin Yu can only try his best to avoid the vital parts. As long as it is not a vital part, with Qin Yu's recovery ability, he will be able to completely recover in the blink of an eye. If I did not have such amazing recovery ability, I would have been killed long ago. With these three hidden weapons working together, even a Deshang stage divine beast would be killed in an instant. For the first time, Qin Yu feels a bit of a headache. At the same time, his body is still dodging extremely fast. Qin Yu has a headache. The three divine beasts have an even bigger headache. Big Brother, although the sword tip awl is only a low-grade immortal weapon, its power should be comparable to a middle-grade immortal weapon when we use it. Why can't we injure this Dujie stage kid? A voice rises in the mind of the burly man. Big Brother, I saw with my own eyes that this kid was injured. Why is he still unscathed? Another voice rises. The burly man ponders and says, as far as I can see, this kid has a treasure on him. It has a powerful life force and can quickly recover from injuries. Moreover, his speed is so fast. I guess it is because of his mysterious technique. A treasure with recovery ability. The second brother and the third brother are shocked. Of course, they understood the significance of such a treasure. With this treasure, the possibility of being killed is almost reduced to the minimum. For a moment, the three brothers are tempted by this treasure. Set up the formation. The burly man clenches his teeth and says with his holy sense, mysterious ice realm. The second brother and the third brother ask almost simultaneously. Right, this time we can't care so much. The burly man's eyes flash with a hint of cold light. Good, if we can get that treasure, even if we consume more than half of our power, what's the big deal? The second brother also agrees. When the three brothers use their unique skill, they will consume a lot of power. In the chaotic astral ocean, if it is not particularly dangerous, very few people will consume more than half of their power. After all, this kind of situation is very dangerous. However, for the sake of Qin Yu's treasure with amazing recovery ability, the three brothers have made up their minds. What's going on? Qin Yu's figure stops. Because the three hidden weapons have flown back to the hands of the three burly men. At this moment, the other two burly men who were hiding also come out. These two burly men have almost the same face as the first one, whether it is the silver lion's head hairstyle or the white armor on their body. The three brothers surround Qin Yu in three different directions. Kid, this will be the second time we three brothers have used the mysterious ice realm formation after reaching the Deshang stage. Last time, the target was an 8th tribulation loose cultivator. In the end, he died and we were not harmed at all. The eldest brother of the three brothers says with a faint smile, consider it our respect for you. I'll also let you know when you die. My name is Shirexin. That is my second brother Shirbing. That is my third brother Shirjan. The eldest brother Shirexin introduces to Qin Yu. Before you die, you should also tell us your name so that we can know the name of a genius like you. Genius. In the eyes of the three godly beasts, Qin Yu certainly deserves this title. Under the attack of the three sword blade awls, ordinary 6th tribulation loose immortals cannot resist, but Qin Yu is not harmed at all. A kid who has not reached the Deshang stage withstood it, so naturally he is a genius. My name is Qin Yu. The reason I'm telling you my name is because I've decided to take the 3 of you as my spiritual beasts and the other 2 brothers' mounts. Qin Yu suddenly bursts into laughter. At the moment, he is thinking about what the 3 godly beasts' true forms look like. The 3 Shi brothers' faces turn cold in an instant. Spiritual beasts. There is a hint of a sneer on the corners of Shi Xian's mouth. You want to catch us as your spiritual beasts? I think you're dreaming. Whether it's a dream or not, we'll know after we fight. Qin Yu has a look of having a card up his sleeve. Shi Xian's true form is a godly beast, Extreme Ice Lion. Extreme Ice Lions and Fire Rock Lions belong to the same level. However, most Fire Rock Lions are naturally violent and warlike. Extreme Ice Lions are warlike but very calm. Seeing Qin Yu so calm, Shi Xian becomes cautious. You said you still have 2 brothers. Where are they now? Shi Xinfa asks. Since Qin Yu has such strength, his 2 brothers should not be too weak. If the 3 Qin Yu brothers join forces, can the 3 godly beast brothers resist them? Don't worry, don't be afraid. My 2 brothers are still some distance away from here. It will probably take a long time for them to arrive. Qin Yu says with a smile. Xiao He and Fei started their journey before Qin Yu. It will probably take some time for them to meet. Shi Xian's heart calms down a little. Extreme Ice Realm, set up the formation. Shi Xian coldly shouts, and his voice is heard by Qin Yu. Qin Yu immediately becomes cautious, carefully paying attention to the surroundings. Other people's formations are very complicated, but the formation of these 3 godly beasts is very strange and at the same time too simple. Shi Xian and his brothers raise their heads and roar. Their roars resounds through the heaven and earth. At the same time, blue and white rays of light shoot out from the 3 Shi brothers' bodies. Those blue and white rays of light unceasingly flow up. In just a moment, a huge sphere is formed, and the boundary is full of blue and white cold currents. Mysterious and complex seal symbols circulate on the smooth and round boundary, and a terrifying aura is emitted from the boundary. This large formation seems to have completely surrounded this area, forming a unique domain. The temperature inside this domain is terrifyingly low. It's so cold. Qin Yu's whole body shivers. His eyes brighten as he carefully looks at this so-called Extreme Ice Realm. Shi Xian, Shi Bing, and Shi Zhan are standing inside the Extreme Ice Realm with an expression of enjoyment. They are originally Extreme Ice Lions, and the environment of the Extreme Ice Realm is their favorite. In such an environment, together with the abstruse eyeballs in their bodies, their attacking power can reach twice as high as usual. You 3 definitely can't set up this formation, Qin Yu says to the 3 Shi brothers in front of him with certainty. With a simple observation, one can find out how powerful this Extreme Ice Realm is. Such a cold environment, those profound seal symbols, and that extremely terrifying aura. Qin Yu simply cannot believe that a Deshang godly beast can set it up. Smart. Shi Xian says with a smile. This formation is carried by the abstruse eyeballs. We 3 brothers once found a treasure land in the chaotic astral ocean, and obtained the sword blade all and the 3 abstruse eyeballs. After swallowing the abstruse eyeballs, we only need to slightly activate them to form the Extreme Ice Realm formation. The 3 Shi brothers only consumed their power to activate the formation. As for maintaining the Extreme Ice Realm, that is the energy of the abstruse eyeballs. Just activating the formation consumes a lot of their power. I forgot to tell you that the abstruse eyeballs can not only set up the Extreme Ice Realm, but also give us the Extreme Ice Armor. With your strength, you simply can't break our defense. In addition, in this environment our attacking power is multiplied, and your power is reduced. You will definitely die. Shi Xian says confidently. At the same time, his body flashes, and he turns into a huge lion that is 15 to 16 meters long and 2 to 3 meters tall. This lion has a single horn on its head and snow-white hair all over its body. It is the godly beast, Extreme Ice Lion. A blue and white light shines from the Extreme Ice Lion's abdomen. Immediately, The blue and white light forms a hard silver armor on the extreme ice lion's body. Completely white, the extreme ice lion looks so noble. Abstruse eyeballs. It seems to be the treasure emitting the blue and white light from the mythical beast's abdomen. The white armor formed by the abstruse eyeballs. Is it really that strong? Qin Yu simply does not believe that he cannot break the opponent's defense. At the same time, extreme ice lions also appear in the other two directions. You're tuning in to the Whispers of Romance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.